X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who spit facts online all the time.
Can you see it? All the ones who drag my name every single day. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? They keep saying you don't have what it takes to carve out your own name underneath the shadows of gods. And I keep waiting for the day disbelievers say I flew way too close to the sun. I wait, but it never really comes. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. Why do they just stand there against when they fall from the battles I have overcome? We feel it, feel the cope and the seething tone that they make while I stand up, man among gods. And I keep vaping with my mill, shooting ropes in my cold that faces towards the sun. They hate, but I'm sitting comfy with their mom. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all that shackled mind. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. It's you and me, your mom, it's me. I'll take another hit from my name. You'll see now, watch me live now, punch your face now. Show you how.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is so good to have you all back here. I hope you've all been having a good last couple days. I'm really sorry I didn't stream. I've been pretty busy. I had my mom visiting, so it's been a little bit of a hassle, but it's been fun. It's nice having her visit. What's going on, Apillo, Ratty Ratera, Cryptid T, Prancing Goldfish, Catgirl Leah, Apillo again, of course. You've been talking in the chat a lot. Larry Banks 78, good to see you as well. Carl the Carl, good to see you. Night Moth, what's up? Cherry, good to see you as well. My headset has been just going on and off the last minute that I've been live. I really got to replace this thing. I actually don't think it's the headset because it doesn't do this on other things. It's my PC. It's because the ports, the USB ports on my computer, one dies every few months, and I've gotten down to the point where I have to use splitters, and the one I'm currently using for my headset is actively breaking and soon won't work at all either. And so it's just, I'm starting to. It's starting to get really broken, that last USB port. Yep, it just dropped again. It sucks because it says headset disconnected, headset connected every time there's even a split second of lost signal. So, sometimes it'll just be headset disconnected, headset connected, headset disconnected, headset connected, headset disconnected, headset connected, headset disconnected, headset connected, back to back to back to back, queued up it'll queue up the amount of times it needs to say it. So it'll be like 10 straight minutes of it saying that because it disconnected and reconnected 10 times, or like 20 times, 30 times when I walked like from one end of the house to the other. It's really annoying. I have to wait for it to end before I can hear whatever video I was watching, even when I do get back to my computer. No, it's been an issue since before I spilled that soda, Nightmoth. It's been an issue since before I spilled soda on my keyboard and had to replace it. I'm sure you could probably take out the busted USB arrays, and bring them to a store that sells parts and then have it installed. No, this PC isn't worth that. This PC, the only thing really valuable in it is the CPU and the graphics card, so I might get a new... Like, when I make my new magnum opus PC that I'm going to put, like, a lot of money into, I'll probably also put some money aside to buy, like, a decent pre-built that has no graphics card in it, take the CPU out, put in the Ryzen 9 I have, and make that, and you know, my old graphics card, make that my new streaming and recording PC, and that's what that would do, and make, you know, my new magnum opus computer the gaming PC that everything would be happening on. That's probably what I'll do. Because the graphics card and the CPU are the most valuable parts, and they are fine. Well, it's not so much that, Rockfire. It's more so that every professional streamer who's got the money for it, and even thinks about doing any type of gaming content at any point, does a 2-PC setup. It's just better. Ugh. That reminds me, I really need to upgrade my PC. Yeah, but you know, PC parts are expensive. I don't blame you if you fall behind a couple generations of cards. How will I do my gaming off my Stream Deck or Steam Deck, and it is basically a PC? Yeah, Steam Deck's kind of like a portable computer. My CPU's so fucking old, they don't make compatible motherboards anymore. Ooh, yeah, you might want to get a new... You might want to get a new chipset. Starfield on Steam Deck goes so fucking hard. Is Starfield even that good? Like, I hate that so much of the conservative, like, anti-woke whatever shit has been focused on media that I don't really care about, you know? Like, I don't care about Starfield. I didn't care about that Velma show. I didn't care about... Like, the only thing in that, like, list of things that I really cared about, were, like, Rings of Power. And, like... Yeah... I don't know, like, usually it's stuff that I don't even care for anyway, but they find, like, the most bizarre reasons to hate it, and it's always politically driven. If you like Star Wars or any other sci-fi shit, you'll love Starfield. Yeah, not the big... I like Star Wars, but I'm not the biggest fan of Star Wars. Don't let Communist hear me say that, but I'm not, like, the hugest of Star Wars fans. I feel like they're gonna try and call Fiona and Cake woke. They have... I don't know if you've seen it, but, like, any post about the Fiona and Cake show, you'll see conservatives, like, in the replies complaining that it's woke, but way more people making fun of the people complaining that it's woke. Because, like, let's be real, Adventure Time's audience has always been very progressive. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure it was the first ever, like, American kids cartoon to just, like, that heavily push, gay representation, right? Like, that's just on TV and aired to a multinational audience. Because, like, Adventure Time was aired in Russia and, like, Saudi Arabia and stuff, and that was a big part of why... And China. And that was a big part of why they couldn't, confirm Marceline and PB earlier in the show until the finale, because, like, it was gonna guarantee the show gets banned or canceled in those countries. Not canceled, but censored in those countries. They censor it? Yeah. No, that was Steven Universe? No. No. No, you fucking Zoomer. Excuse me, you fucking slanderous Zoomer. Reality didn't start the second you started being capable of perceiving conscious reality, okay? Adventure Time hinted that PB and Marceline were gay. Like, back when Steven Universe was just a couple of, like, storyboard sketches in Rebecca Sugar's notebook and on her DeviantArt or whatever, okay? Let's be clear. The Legend of Korra gay rep was the most cucked thing in gay cartoon history. I don't know what happened in that show because I haven't seen it. Even then, the PB and Marceline kiss was done in a way that it can be edited. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was done in a way that it can be edited. I think there's just no way to do a kiss scene in a way where it can't be, right? Like, I don't think there's any kiss scene that you can't edit out, right? Steven Universe was more explicit? Yeah, but it was later on, though. Like, the scene could be that they just hugged each other? I guess they could cut it there, yeah. Like, if a country that's homophobic wanted to censor it? Definitely. You know, okay, so today, I was showing my mom some Sam O'Nella videos, and I showed the one about the most insane laws in the world, part 1, I think it was. And one of them, and this is like an 8-year-old video, 7-year-old video, by the way. One of them goes as follows. The next law we're going to talk about is in Russia, and as you may know, they aren't very fond of gay people there. You can't exactly get gay married. And he goes on to say, but Putin decided to take it a step further and decided to make it an outright crime to tell kids that gay people exist. And I just paused the video and I just turned and looked at my mom. I just turned and I just did. Where does that sound familiar? Why does that sound so familiar? But yeah, it is straight up like a crime to tell a kid that gay people exist in Russia. It's considered the same as sexual assault or like molestation, which is literally what they're trying to do in Florida legally. They're literally emulating that law. Oh yeah, not just Florida. Oh yeah, a lot of the American South, those deep red states are jumping on board with those policies. Pretty cringe. Pretty cringe. So guys, cool news, fun news. In less than a week, I don't actually remember how many days, like 3 or 4 days or something like that, maybe 5. I'll have to remind myself by asking my mom. But in like less than a week, I'm going to be boarding a flight for a week. It's either a week or 2 weeks. I don't remember. I don't care to keep schedules that tightly. A week or 2 week long trip to Florida. I'm going to be helping my mom with some stuff, but while I'm there, I am going to be able to make some cool content, both dunking on Florida and, all the shit that's going on there. And, maybe we'll get some footage of, like, a Nazi rally or something like that. And maybe we can, like, antagonize some Nazis on camera for a video. I feel like that'd be fun. It seems like right now in Florida, you can probably go, like, around every other corner and find, like, some KKK members or, like, a few neo-Nazis or, a few white nationalists just marching with swastika flags down the street. We could go to Disneyland or Disney World. We could go to Disney World out and look out front by the sidewalk and see all the Nazis out there with their swastikas. We could antagonize those guys. I went to Florida a few months ago. I'm sorry. The air was so fucking weird, like it felt off. Like the air of the people or the air in the state. Yeah, Florida air is muggy. It's very muggy. Vosh is doing okay, buddy Vosh. Why are you not reacting to it? I'll watch it in my own time. The air of the state was muggy, but I get it. But, like, the vibes were off. Oh, yeah, no. It's a bizarre place. It is a bizarre place to live. The kind of things that just are normal to you when you grew up in Florida is crazy when you think about it long enough, and people have made that very clear to me whenever I, like, casually bring up, sometimes you almost run over an alligator. You know? Like here. It's just a Florida thing. This right here is what we call a classic Florida moment. You see, this is just the life of being in Florida. This is your reality. That's your yard. And that's gonna be in your yard. It might come into your house. And what are you gonna do to stop it? How are you gonna prevent this? You're not gonna. You're not gonna stop this guy from getting in. You're not gonna keep this guy off your property. That's just the reality you live in when you live in Florida. Do you have dogs? Keep them inside. Keep them away from water. Every body of fresh water in Florida has alligators, okay? And they're gonna get you. This is a pretty normal sight. I feel like these are probably, like, snowbirds. There are a lot of old people, so I'm betting they're tourists from, like, Michigan or whatever who come to Florida during the winter, and they've seen an alligator crossing the road because it's, you know, they're out of the water because it's cold out, and so they want to be in the sun. They're moving around trying to find nice spots to, you know, laze about. Gator invasion when? Dude, there's a lot of alligators out there in Florida. I think there's, like, confirmed to be tens of millions of gators in Florida alone. Like, alligators were at one point nearly extinct. I'm pretty certain. I'm, like, almost certain at one point, like, we almost hunted them to extinction. They were, like, critically endangered. And then they just bounced back like crazy after we did some conservation efforts. Do people kill gators, or are they protected? They're not protected anymore because their population is larger than I believe ever right now. So, not only are there farms where are they like factory, like alligators are never going to be endangered again. Like the amount of them that are farmed will always be enough to sustain and boost a new population if we ever get back down to those critical levels. Because people farm them for eggs for rewilding and also for meat. Gator farm? Yeah. You guys don't know about gator farms? Hold on. Alligator farm. Now, this is for doing tours. I want to see one that's like a meat-producing farm. Why is a video called Dog Gets Eaten by Crocodile in my recommended? Thanks, YouTube. Let me see if I can find... Oh yeah, here's a good example of what an alligator farm looks like. There's a lot more alligators you can't see in that water.
I'm trying to get these rats to land towards the sides of their heads. That's because alligators cannot see directly in front of them. They can only see off the...
As you can see, they are nowhere near endangered. We are doing quite all right. Jesus fuck YouTube when told to not recommend people disturbing content. Guys, I really do think a big adpocalypse is on the horizon. YouTube has more, I think now more than ever, been enabling misinformation in every way and in every walk of discussion to thrive in a matter that is not very advertiser friendly, to say the least. Obviously there's the Nazi shit, Matt Walsh and whatnot. There's actually, this is pretty significant. Matt Walsh was demanded by YouTube. He got demonetized, and YouTube demanded that, like, he stop being as transphobic and hateful and breaking TOS as much to get remonetization. Remember, of course, any other channel would just get straight up banned and striked for breaking the TOS, but if you're big enough and you make YouTube enough money, they'll do literally everything they can to, like, make you stop breaking the rules so they can remonetize you and keep making money off of you, it seems. And so they demanded Matt Walsh stop being as transphobic. He didn't. And then YouTube reinstated his monetization. So Matt Walsh is back to being monetized on YouTube after 2 months. He straight up denied YouTube's request to follow the rules, and they just reinstated him because he's that successful. Zan, you have over twice as many viewers than likes. Wow, that's not good. Guys, you gotta hit that like button. What's going on? What's going on, guys? You're not hitting that like button up? What do you mean? What are you doing? What's going on? Hit that like button. There was something I was going to show you guys, like a very brief stun lock. Fuck, what was I thinking? What was I thinking of? Ah, yes, I remember. Okay. I watched a video today. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, I love watching videos where it's like, you know, science YouTuber debunking random conspiracy theorists like moon landing deniers and flat earthers and anti-vaxxers and whatnot. And I watched a video by Simon Dan today. We're not going to watch the whole thing or anything like that. It's just going to be a bit of a stun lock because I want to show you just a brief little bit of this. We'll get to it. Guys, calm down. Do not ask me directly about things in the title because I will always ignore you. And if you ask too much and you spam me, I'll just straight up ban you. The segments and the topics will be gotten to when they're ready. That is how we do things here, but I appreciate your enthusiasm to hear what I'm talking about. Anyway, this is in regards to like flat earthers, and I'm really curious to see your reactions to like the state of flat earth on YouTube right now.
The thing we love on this channel are the flat earth challenges. They are so stuck in their Dunning-Kruger branch that they feel almost duty-bound to offer these challenges out to us globists. In the past, we've taken on Anthony Bear's River Nile challenge.
So, let's flatten it out like the topographical profile. Okay, we flatten out the Nile River. The Nile River only pitches one.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I'm pretty certain globes are not an accurate representation of the shape of the Earth. They're literally a perfect sphere, and the Earth is not a perfect sphere by any means. So, I'm pretty certain this way of trying to measure the Earth and try to disprove the Earth being round wouldn't work, because this is a perfect sphere recreation for spinning on an axis for display in a classroom or like whatever. Not an actual shape recreation, shape and topographical recreation of what the Earth is like. But that doesn't matter. That is literally the level of dumb fuckery these people operate on.
1 mile down.
Calvin Stroud's 10,000 pound challenge.
This is reality. This is practical. This is practical. This is what, as high as they tell us the imaginary globe is.
Flat
Isn't it crazy how similar this sounds to your average, like, transphobe on the internet now? Like Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, you know, just the transphobe figures that are so heavily opposed to science and the current consensus of the medical community, saying that it's been corrupted by the woke influence or whatever, and that's why none of the data agrees with them. But then they also say the data does agree with them. They only concede it doesn't whenever confronted and pointed out that it doesn't agree with them, and then they bring out the, oh, the data's been corrupted by the woke academia or whatever. So it's like, they don't even actually believe it. It's like the academia has been corrupted by the woke is just their backup response if somebody calls them out because that person in question knows the actual data and calls their bluff when they say, oh, the data's on our side, you're just arguing from feelings. That's a bluff. They're hoping you don't know the data and you won't call them out. But they've got another bluff, which is wokeness has consumed the medical and educational fields, and this is provable, and you can, you know, if you know that's not the case and you can point to the evidence that it's not, such as, yeah, I'm very aware of that conspiracy theory, there's no evidence whatsoever, then I really don't know where they'll argue from there. I really don't know how they can get back from that. I think they'd really just start trying to get into the weeds about how academia is corrupted by the woke. I don't think they have another backup argument.
Earth Millionaire's $200,000 challenge.
The challenge, there's 3 main parts. We want to see
Flat Earth Millionaire. And I mean, yeah, it does look like they're probably millionaires, unless it's like a rental or something. Yeah, you know, the sad thing is there's actually a lot of big, wealthy, influential people who are flat earthers. I know that there's actually a fair amount of pretty well-known music artists that are flat earthers, and they've got a lot of money and influence. And it's one of those things that's like pretty disturbing, because while flat Earth is by far one of the least harmful conspiracy theories, at the end of the day, every conspiracy theory comes down to the same thing: anti-Semitism. Yeah, Bob is a flat earther, I think. Yep. What was I gonna say? Every conspiracy theory leads back to anti-Semitism. Allow me to explain why. For a conspiracy theory like this, or most conspiracy theory, or what they posit to exist, it would require an insane amount of collusion among an insane amount of different parties with insanely different interests from each other, in different parts of the world, different countries, with an insane amount of control over all information dissemination. It literally requires the belief of a world-controlling secret society that is, like, beyond God-tier omniscience. The amount of, like, work that would have to go into, say, faking the moon landing, or hell, faking any photos or video, like a single live stream faked of, like, the ISS, the amount of paperwork that they've made, that would, like, that alone is so much, like, waste of time. The amount of money that they've spent. The money is verified to have been spent. Like, the banks keep track of where the money goes. The federal government keeps track of this. Like, the IRS keeps track of this. There's a lot of documentation and bureaucracy that keeps track of where that money and funding for NASA went for the moon landing and for the building of the ISS before the space exploration, the space agencies were privatized in the U.S. So it's like there's just an insane amount of jumping through hoops you have to do. And generally, if you're trying to sink such a incoherent belief to something that feels real, you're going to find a conspiracy or a thought process that's already believed by a lot of people. And 99.999% of the time, for conspiracy theorists, they blame the Jews. They start to fall into the belief that there is some Jewish conspiracy to control the world and fake this or that, to brainwash the sheeple for whatever end they believe the Jews are doing it for. It almost always ends up with that person being anti-Semitic somewhere down the road.
Application using the scientific method, you know, observing, measuring, and repeating water sticking to a ball.
And even Daniel Pratt's $1 million challenge.
Okay, here's my $1 million challenge to any globe priest out there.
I'm gonna be real, dude. I don't think you've got $1 million to give. I think everybody knows you're bluffing.
Okay, here's my $1 million challenge to any globe priest out there. You continually claim that autopilot programs in airplanes make minute adjustments for curvature.
Still waiting for all of the winnings from those, unfortunately. But today, we take on a new challenge, one from Santos Bonacci, for $10,000.
This is his intro bit. So, like, I just thought it would be nice to play that little intro bit to let you guys know how pervasive misinfo has gotten on YouTube, just in, like, the science sphere, like, outside of anything really that rooted to politics or social issues at the moment, or culture war stuff. We're literally globe priest equals Jews. Maybe not for that person, but who knows? They are all nut jobs, and conspiracy theories tend to lead to anti-Semitism eventually. That said, it's not just the science and political sphere seeing this either. History also has a big problem with this. There's a YouTuber that I watch. Shit, let me see if I can find his channel. You know, Cherry, you might be able to make a segment out of this, Stenlock. I never hit record, so you'd have to rip it from the VOD. Let me look at my watch history. I might be able to find it. Hold on. Yeah, this guy. Mini Minuteman. Yeah, that's who. Sorry, I always forget his YouTube channel name for some reason. I don't know why. It's a great channel. It's a fantastic channel. But there is just a ridiculous amount of misinfo. Like, this guy's literal entire YouTube shorts is just responding to viral TikToks spreading insane misinfo about history to extremely gullible people.
Done with a chisel.
Did Michelangelo carve the statue of David with lost advanced alien technology? They want you to believe that chisels exist. And I know a 30-something in a Toronto Blue Jay.
You can guess what "they" means whenever these people say they want you to believe blank.
His hat who knows the real secrets of...
Like, they really try to tell us that Kalisha's temple was carved with a chisel.
They probably carved it with multiple chisels, and secondly, who the fuck is Kalisha? I've heard of Kailasa Temple. Maybe Kalisha built a temple with one chisel, and I'm the one that's wrong here.
I truly think that giants used to roam the earth.
Do you really believe that? I want people to be fascinated by the mysteries of the ancient world. These are terrace farms that sit at more than 2 miles in elevation. Kailasa Temple is one of the only temples in the world built from the top down, carved directly out of the bedrock itself. These marble statues are a testament to
Now, as a Minecraft player, building with bedrock is quite impressive.
the human understanding of anatomy and art. What all these things have in common is that they were built by people just like you and I. When curiosity and distrust meet, it breeds willful ignorance. And by removing the humanity from all of these places, you work to push the world back into the very darkness that you claim to be fighting against.
Good responses. Very good responses. And you better believe that's not the only one. They get really crazy. I mean, here's a good example. Honestly, this guy looks a lot like the Flat Earth guy that was just getting responded to.
Have you heard about the pyramid they found in Antarctica?
No, but have you heard the one about the priest, the monk, and the rabbi that walk into a bar? Say it with me now. If something has a point and a square base, that does not mean that it's a pyramid. The base isn't even square. They literally just drew the line to where it would be the most convenient to stop. I am genuinely concerned that the human race has completely lost the ability to have any critical thinking. The ice covering Antarctica is like 3 miles thick. Why would there be a pyramid under it? Oh, Milo is an advanced lost civilization. They're hiding under there. No, they're not. That's goofy and you know it. Now, let me explain what's going on with this stupid pyramid conspiracy. When mountains experience extreme and repeated glaciation, it creates things like this. As glaciers continually scrape the sides off, it leaves one little point at the top. This is an example of a mountain in the Alps. Now, what would this look like if it was on a continent that's been covered by ice for the longest and you could only see the top little bit? It would probably look something like this. Pointed, angular, and covered in snow, smoother than this man's head.
And brain. Yeah, no, there's a pretty serious problem with misinformation online right now. It has been quite the big issue for a while. YouTube doesn't care. They haven't cared for a long time. At least under Susan Wojcicki, there was this like general air of political opposition to misinfo like this, but as of late, that's kind of like starkly changed, and I think a large part of this has to do with the new CEO of YouTube. I don't know if you guys know this, but YouTube now has a new head. And he is not the greatest. His name is Neil Mohan, and he is like a crypto bro who likes NFTs and free speech, quote unquote. I'll let you guess what kind of politics this guy has and what changes might have happened behind the scenes at YouTube when it comes to their moderation. Many of you might have thought it's impossible for one guy to become the new CEO of YouTube and to make such a large change to the site, but I think Elon buying Twitter and doing what he did really, dissuades any desire to make that claim. It is very, very clear that there has been a stark change in YouTube's application of TOS lately. I can't be the only one seeing this, right? Like, it really does seem like no matter how bad a person is, they will not be banned, or if they're banned, they won't be for long. Like, I'm pretty sure EDP is back on YouTube, right? Was EDP not back on YouTube just recently, despite being outed as a outed as a pedophile, being caught red-handed trying to meet up with a little girl? Well, with someone he thought was a little girl? Yeah. Anyway, YouTube is not in a good place right now in regards to their TOS application. I would not expect for bans and applications of the rules to end up saving the day here, so to say, in regards to stemming the spread of misinfo. Unfortunately, the only thing that's going to end up stopping it, at least in the short term, is spreading counter-arguments to this far-right propaganda that's been becoming more pervasive. And not just far-right propaganda, but things like flat earthers, anti-vaxxers, moon landing deniers, you know, like just across the board, misinfo is becoming more and more common, and it's becoming more and more bite-sized and digestible, and pushed heavily in algorithms on TikTok, YouTube Shorts. I mean, if I go to YouTube Shorts right now...
Remember that one...
Let me see how long it takes me to find some, like, insane right-wing shit. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14... Okay, well, I think I might have found one. Alright, I think I might have found one, guys. Whew. This one starts a little fishy, so we'll see how this one goes, okay? Let's see how this one goes.
If you're black, they literally have the African-American colors on the gay flag right now, and nobody gives a fuck. They have everyone so psyoped that we're screaming over people
740k, 42,000 likes.
Who the fuck cares? Look at this shit. Bro, how often do you see this flag? I see this flag more than I see my father. They put your colors on the gay flag and none of you care. All you care about is white racism and people saying nigga in a song? What the fuck? That makes no sense.
Yeah, so basically it took 15 swipes. 15 swipes is all it took to find a guy saying the N-word and ranting about how black people need to revolt against the gay community for including black colors in the gay flag. Yeah, so that is literally the state of YouTube right now. You guys know that I'm not exaggerating, right? Like literally like 15 swipes through YouTube Shorts and you're at a white guy saying the N-word and saying gay people need to be fought against to like 700,000 likes on their post. That caught me off guard. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. If you are like up to date with the state of the culture war and politics right now, whatever you want to call it, then you'd know it is in fact this bad right now. YouTube is rainbow washing. They're absolutely rainbow washing. They pretend and play like they are super progressive, and yet some of the largest and most viewed creators on this platform blatantly break their TOS, just blatantly and unapologetically as well. 2016 all over again. This is going to result in an adpocalypse, and every single YouTuber on the site is going to make considerably less money forever. That is literally how every adpocalypse goes, by the way. Advertisers pull out, and we never recover. There's never been a recovery from an adpocalypse, like back to where we were before. It's always like it's like steps, right? It's like stair steps going down. The average income of YouTubers every adpocalypse goes down per viewership, like per capita per viewership. So it really is a big problem for the content creators and even Google and YouTube in the long run. You mind shutting the light off? I guess not. Oh, and honestly, if YouTube goes into an adpocalypse, we might see a content creator strike. That'll never happen. There will never be a content creator strike. The fact that so many content creators in this platform are willing to take a personal blow in order to own the left, for example, in and of itself will prevent a strike of that kind existing. You've got so many YouTubers like the Quartering, the AI like scam channels, like literally millions and millions of different channels that have like sizable audiences that cumulatively bring in a lot of Google's money, like they wouldn't be part of it, and they would still, like, even some large YouTubers not being part of it just wouldn't be enough. It's just, yeah. You could never unite enough YouTube to pull something, like, enough YouTubers, sorry, to pull something like that off. You should start a content creator strike against YouTube if it goes into an adpocalypse? Never. No. That is, like, the cringiest idea of all time. The only thing that a content creator strike does is guarantee the people participating in it can't afford to buy groceries. That's all it does. It guarantees you can't buy groceries maybe ever again, because your channel might just die. I know it's easy to say just don't upload for a week or make your own alternate platform. That's not how it works. I'm actually going to ban you, Go Fash No Cash, because you've actually been incessantly annoying the entire stream, and I actually don't think I can handle it. I genuinely don't. I'm sorry, but every question you asked was dumb, and it genuinely upset me. I'm pretty sure you were a troll. I'm genuinely sure you were a troll, because every question you asked was like that derailing and stupid. Anyway, as I was saying, there's just no way you could unite that many YouTubers to do a strike. The only thing it would guarantee is the financial, like, failure of the YouTubers who participated. It wouldn't do anything to YouTube. It wouldn't change any policy. It never has. There's been general content creation or content creator strikes attempted by lefty YouTubers way larger than me, and it always fell through and was like a joke that like the rest of the internet made fun of. Like, I assume, yeah, Pillow, I think you remember that. Like, do you remember that time when, like, Non-Compete and like Thought Slime and stuff tried to push, like, a content creator blackout or something like that for, like, 3 days? And most of the YouTubers who participated are people that only upload once a month anyway, so most didn't even notice which YouTubers were or weren't participating in the strike. Because there's two types of content creators. Those that have to upload very regularly to afford to do YouTube for a living. That's what I am. And can't afford to join into a strike like that, because it would be like an awful, awful hit to the channel, because YouTube is a merciless place. And channels that upload so infrequently that a week or even like a month-long strike wouldn't be noticed by anybody, even within their audience. You could get it started, but YouTube wouldn't give a fuck? Yeah, YouTube wouldn't care, and I'd just not be able to I'd just not be making content. You know, you guys just wouldn't get any content from me. Also, other YouTubers who aren't in the strike, the right-wing ones, would be able to pull in more viewership in that time. Yep, you would just be, like, it's also stupid because the right relies on a monopoly on political discussion on the platform. The more lefty YouTubers that quit, i.e. like Lindsay Ellis, who got harassed off the platform by woke scolds, like, the more of those YouTubers that quit, the more room there is for the alt-right to exist uncontested on the platform. Yeah, YouTube might just punish the channels who participate. Yeah, there's no rules against that. No laws either. Exactly, we just fuck ourselves in the culture war we unfortunately have to fight. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. Nothing's fair. Are you not mostly relying on donations and such for revenue, or will your algorithm be affected too massively? I make maybe 40% of my income from donations and subs these days, and I'd say the other 60% from YouTube ad revenue. I'd say that, yeah, that's probably about right. Mostly because as of late, for reasons I actually don't, like, quite know, my per capita or per viewer amount of donos and subs I get has dropped significantly. I know it looks like I've got a lot of money right now because I haven't updated the dono goal. I have to reset it every stream. Everything has to be done manually for my stream for some reason. Nobody else seems to have the problem, but I do. And nobody has been able to help or fix it. So I've kind of just given up and accepted it. That streaming for me is considerably more work than for most other people. But it is what it is. But yeah. Most of my income lately has been from YouTube, because stream viewer income has gone down a lot more lately. I don't know why. I'm guessing you guys are just broke lately or something. I will update the dono goal, because it needs to be set back to 0, because we haven't gotten any donos today, obviously. Quail plus moving goal. Oh 09, 12, 20, 23. Gotta put it all in manually. All has to be done manually. No automatic shit works. Alrighty. Oh, thank you for the support, guys. Chris473, thank you for the tier 1 sub. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $5. Said, I have not come on stream for a while and noticed my subscription has expired, so here's me renewing it. Keep up the excellent content as always, Xander Hall. Thank you, Chris473. I appreciate it. It's very, very kind of you. It really does help out a lot. Hey, Evie Gretel. Uh-oh. Oh, I just clicked out of your dono right as it popped up. It showed up in the feed right as I hit the X on the dono I just finished reading, instantly closing yours before I could even see it. I think you donated $5 and said first. I think that's all I could see. Thank you so much for the $5, Heavy Gretel. I do appreciate it. I'm really, really sorry. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. It's really frustrating when it decides to, like, immediately load a dono in right as I hit that X. Because, like, whenever a new dono fills in, it immediately puts the, like, it's a new X for the new dono instead of where I was clicking. So, yeah. Little frustrating. Little bit of a pain in the ass, I won't lie. But yeah, Shiloh Lover, thank you for the tier 1 sub as well. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $5. Very based, very pog. Thank you, thank you. And Cherry T21, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The $25 is very appreciated. Hopefully Summer Star Spaghetti, Zami, Colony of Dice, and DJ Reaper Skier all appreciate the gifted subs as well. Enjoy those blue names, guys. Said, do you think there's hope for someone like me starting a channel nowadays? I'm starting in October. You recommended vidIQ before, right? Yes, I did. I've actually made several videos on this topic, and I mean, I don't know what you mean by, is there a chance for someone like you to make it on YouTube? I mean, it depends on what type of content you make. You have to just, you just have to be persistent at it, and it does require a bit of luck, but the luck is almost guaranteed if you work hard enough at it for long enough, really. If you do the right things, like, theoretically, if I was sent back to square one right now, I do think I could probably get back to, like, 50k subs in less than 3 years. Knowing what I know now. Like, knowing, like, how to do titles, thumbnails, edits, how to get an editor, how to, like, build connections, and, like, just the general skill at doing what I do now that I have. I feel like I could restart and get to 50k in less than 3 years. Not that I'd want to, but, yeah, I think a lot of it is skills. And I'd recommend you check out the channel called, I think it's called Senpai Gaming now, or something like that, but it used to be called Alpha Gaming. That guy, Harris Heller, makes really good videos that are just general advice about content creation, whether it be tech stuff or whatever, you know. Tipster, thank you for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. I appreciate it. Thank you for the $25. Hopefully, Catgirl Leah, Bazooka Horse, Nina, Pictish Cat, and Trout440 all appreciate the gifted subs. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Said, white name genocide. White name genocide indeed. Thank you. We love genociding white names. The whites must go, chat. And then, of course, Lauren Walker with the $8 Australian donation. Thank you. Said, will you let us name the quails? Almost certainly we'll do quail naming events or something like that. Like when one hatches, maybe I'll live stream it. And that would be pretty cool. 100 viewer discrepancy on likes. That's right. Hit that like button, guys. Make sure you're hitting the like button. It's not hard. It's totally free, and it helps a lot. I'm sure it will, Brisk Student 01. Or O. I don't know why I can't read. Maybe I just can't read. I caught a shiny Mareep in Pokemon during the stream. You are good luck, Xander Hall. I guess I am. I don't seem to have good luck when it comes to RNG, but apparently I give other people good luck. Xander Hall, maybe Highest Dono gets to name the quail. Highest Dono for like a stream? Maybe. Like the Highest Dono in the stream where the quail hatches gets to name it. That'd be a cool way to make a shit ton of money off of a quail hatching. Yeah, that'd be a cool way to do it. You guys would just have to out-donate each other to see who donates the most. Maybe it could be whoever donates the most when the quail's eye has seen light for the first time. Xander Hall, did you talk about Yellow Flash yet? He called us both groomers, lol. I have not talked about Yellow Flash yet. No, I'm still in the pre-segment stun lock right now. I love burbs. Burbs are pretty cool. We love burbs. Burbs are dope. I don't know what I'd do if it weren't for burbs. Alright. Let me get the first segment ready, guys. One second. Where's the screenshot? What? There we go. Okay. Alrighty. Let me get this last link open, and we'll be ready for the first segment of the stream. Nice music, thank you. It's a lo-fi remix of the Hytale soundtrack. Part of the Hytale soundtrack. Alrighty. Actually, no. I'll bring up one more relevant link. One more relevant thing. Alrighty. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. Alright, everybody. I have some juicy drama to talk about with you guys today. You see, a quartering clone, or you could probably say no bullshit clone, is a little bit upset with me right now. I seem to have pissed him off simply by covering one of his videos, and ironically enough, it was a video in which he claims he's not mad, and in fact, the people making fun of him and ratioing him are the ones who are mad. But let's get into it, alright? How many of you guys are familiar with Yellow Flash 2? This guy is possibly one of the most pathetic grifters I've seen on the entire platform, to the extent that, like, I don't think he's done a single video not drunk as shit. I'll go ahead and put on one of his videos so you can hear what he sounds like, and you'll be able to tell that he's actively drunk. And, just kind of boring and unentertaining. His channel's actually fallen off significantly in regards to viewership. I've been informed by an insider in the community, that all of the grifter right-wing channels that have been doing like the all media is woke content pretty much across the board have seen a pretty substantial drop in viewership as of late. The Quartering, Yellow Flash, in particular, I've had that confirmed for. It really seems like their analytics are just not doing good lately, and they're kind of upset about it because they recognize that once again, this wave of grift content that was popular back in 2016 and 2014 and 15 is once again falling to the wayside in popularity as people start to realize they've been being fed horse shit. Anyway, it is quite hilarious, by the way, that he's trying to claim One Piece, like the Netflix show here. For those who don't know, the grift with these people is that anything that they see as woke, anything that's going to be unpopular or unliked in their estimation, they will call woke for whatever reasons they can. Because if they can convince somebody that a piece of media is bad because of wokeness, they can convince people that wokeness is bad without having to make a real argument for why wokeness is bad. So, a very common thing they've been doing lately is claiming that wokeness is making it so film adaptations of original media aren't true to the source material. And so now they're trying to claim the One Piece live-action show, despite One Piece being woke as fuck. Why are all his thumbnails the same? Because thumbnails like this take literally 5 seconds to put together. Like, you literally get an image, copy-paste it in there, and then, like, shrink it away so it's a black background, and then type the text out, and then, like, save it, and then make the thumbnail, and it's how you can upload 1, 2, 3 videos a day much easier than putting effort in. Thumbnails are hard to make. Cherry can attest to it. Anyway, he made a video not too long ago. Actually, it's gonna be a while of scrolling considering how much he uploads his horse shit. But he uploaded a little while ago a tweet. He posted a tweet claiming that Miles Morales is not the real Spider-Man. Spider-Man, of course, being the title of the superhero with spider powers that wears the suit and is a man who's a spider and goes by that name and lives by those ideals of what Spider-Man's supposed to be. It's literally, there's like 8 Spider-Men. There's actually way more if you consider broader lore and comic shit. It was just a very blatant attempt to try to like rally people up on Twitter behind some racist anti-Miles Morales screed. And it didn't really work out. He got massively ratioed, and pretty much all of Twitter jumped down his throat making fun of him. Like, he just got utterly shit on, and he got really, really mad about it, and made a video where he claims repeatedly, let me repeat, he claims repeatedly, he is not mad, and it is in fact the lefties making fun of him, and pretty much the rest of Twitter, not even just lefties, making fun of him who are mad. Pretty much the same bit that the Chuds are doing right now with Starfield, where they're trying to pretend like everybody making fun of their meltdowns, like Heels vs. Babyface meltdown over Starfield, like the people making fun of that are somehow the ones that are cringe. It's very big time, high strength copium, concentrated copium. Anyway, I put out a video a little while ago making fun of him. About 3 days ago it went up. A racist weirdo, big mad about Miles Morales. You'll never be a real Spider-Man. And it's just Miles Morales saying, nah. I like that thumbnail. Good job, Cherry. Anyway, it seems that Yellow Flash has been made aware of that video because he ended up making a tweet just out of nowhere. Like, literally yesterday, he makes this tweet out of literally nowhere, okay? He posts a picture of me that he captioned Groomer. I don't know if you guys know this, but this image has never existed prior, I'm pretty certain. He made this image, and he like put Groomer there, and tweeted, "This creep Groomer that can't even grow a real beard is big mad at me again. And he is 100% a child groomer." Guys, I think he might be mad. I think, you know, maybe I'm making a strong statement here, but I think he might be angry. I think he might be a little bit angry. Just maybe. I wonder how much of the insults he makes are projection, by the way. You know, just knowing conservatives. Knowing conservatives. Actually, is Yellow Flash... Hold on. I'm pretty sure his face has been made public, right? Yeah, the projection is pretty clear here. This is him. Yep, I was right. He has appeared in public before. This is him in real life. I don't think he could grow a beard either, guys. I'm looking at it, and I think I might be doing a little bit better than him in pretty much every category. I'm not gonna lie. So, yep, more conservative projection, at least in regards to the comments on my appearance. So, I'll let you decide whether the other thing was also a bit of projection on his part as well. You know, I can't really say what my opinion is on that for legal reasons, but I'm sure you guys can use you guys know the law. You guys know scientific laws of the universe. You guys know the laws. The theories, even. He, of course, gets quote tweeted and dunked on massively, like, insanely ratioed. Yellow Flash's original tweet had, like, very few, likes originally. And, you know, this is an example of how he got ratioed. Like, 51,000 likes on tweets dunking on his racist tweet about, Miles Morales. And, of course, you've got, the original video here that I made as well. Of course, Cherry ended up quote tweeting Yellow Flash's angry tweet about, like, how he's mad and claiming I'm a groomer for no reason other than he's just mad. Like, he's literally just tweeted this out of nowhere because he must have noticed the video. And so Cherry quote tweets him and ratios the fuck out of him, saying, "This is because Zan made fun of his racist meltdown over Miles Morales, Lamau." Cherry wasn't the only one to ratio his tweet, by the way. I believe Brianna Wu and a few other people quote tweeted him and dunked pretty heavily on him. But you know what's funny? You know what's really, really funny about Yellow Flash calling me a child groomer? Yellow Flash has some interesting friends. That's what's so interesting. Let's take a look at his interesting friends so interestingly. Yellow Flash is mutuals with Ian Miles Chong, who, let's just say, has some interesting old tweets. Hashtag I need masculinism, like the opposite of feminism, I guess. This is like a very 2013 thing, masculism. Because Redditors should be allowed to perv on 12-year-old girls on our jailbait without being called out by Anderson Cooper. So for those that don't remember, this is Ian Miles Chong defending the R Jailbait subreddit. Like, a third of Reddit was basically just child porn for, like, the beginning of its life. The current, like, lead guy of Reddit was a mod for the R Jailbait subreddit. And let me clarify, the R Jailbait subreddit was a subreddit where they would post lewd and nude images of underage girls. It wasn't like jailbait in the sense that it's some weird old dudes fetishizing barely legal girls saying, oh, they're jailbait. No, they were just posting straight up underage girls. It was maximum creepy. It was just straight up a crime. It was a child porn distribution hub. And it was like a third of Reddit's traffic. Yeah, it was a pretty big issue. And Anderson Cooper was a big part of calling this out and bringing it to the attention of a lot of people. And this is Ian Miles Chong, you know, attacking Anderson Cooper and defending the Redditors in our jailbait. Ian Miles Chong then tweeted, "Stupid sexy babies, they bring it on themselves." He also tweeted well, why not? A good number of people on the sex registry are only there because of draconian age of consent laws. Oh, yikes. But hey, it's a law, guys. Not like law, but like a scientific law. You guys know the one. It's not a theory, it's a law. Anyway, he then followed this up by saying, woke leftists don't like to be called groomers, but will call people racist over cartoon characters, yet they actually advocate for grooming BS like child mutilation. So, grooming a child is a crime, being racist is not. So one thing is calling somebody a crime, or accusing someone of a crime falsely. The other is accurately calling someone racist for hating minorities. And then, of course, he says that, like, trans kids existing is child mutilation. So yeah, he's just a very, very open bigot. On top of that, though, it gets even better. You see, he has another friend who actually ended up replying to the post. You see, I'll give you guys a little bit of an update. I used to have a stalker. For several years, I had a stalker who used to have a decent, sizable audience online. Nothing big, not even close to my size even, but like large enough that he was able to get some level of support in the internet space. His name was Flamenco, and the drama community tried to basically make excuses for and defend him for as long as they possibly could. People like Bo Blacks and Augie RFC would try to convince me to have conversations with him, even though, you know, he was a stalker. I'd completely, you know, said I wasn't going to engage with him. I wasn't going to give him attention. Flamenco, not flamingo. And yet they still tried to push that. And I eventually, like, told them, you guys know he's a massive weirdo, and you're going to end up regretting your association with him, right? And they're like, yeah, whatever. Eventually, he got outed as a lolicon. They ended up finding his like, account on some, like, anime porn website, and they dug up his account and found his likes and favorites, and found multiple lolicon and shotacon porn things in there that were liked and favorited. I think he'd also commented on several lolicon things later as well. For a while, he tried to defend himself against these claims, because being outed as a pedophile when you're one of, like, the biggest pushers of the idea that, like, being pro-trans means you're a groomer or whatever, not a good look for him, so he tried to defend himself from it for a while, but nobody fell for it. Once he got outed as a lolicon, everybody just kind of dropped him. So he ended up finding the only tiny little bit of support he has now in the VTuber community, which of course is infested with lolicons. And he's become quite friendly with quite a few larger lolicon figures, and he is now openly a lolicon slash shotacon, and defends both the consumption and his consumption of it. So that's who we're talking about here. He ended up replying to Yellow Flash's post, because of course he's like super mad that he's like a nobody now who gets 0 likes on his tweets, saying, "While I agree in principle to the sentiment, going to guess the chances one of these people prob started it calling the other a groomer first." I'm guessing this is in response to Stardust saying to Flamenco, why would you, like, defend what Yellow Flash is doing? Stardust says, "Flam, I know you don't particularly like Xander Hall, but Yellow Flash is being a piss baby here. Nah, if Yellow Flash isn't the first person to throw out the smear, 100% justified TBH." What? If Yellow Flash isn't the first person to throw out the smear, 100% justified TBH. I think he's arguing that if I called him racist, then it's justified? I don't know. Regardless, though, you got an actual pedophile who is open about it coming forward to defend him, so I think overall, considering the fact that Yellow Flash's tweet got utterly ratioed, both did, he outed how fucking mad he is about my video on him, and had several pedophiles come out to support him in the comments of his tweet calling me a groomer for no other reason than the fact he's mad about my video on him. I think he got kinda owned. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't usually just straight up say this online, but I cannot imagine any scenario where he could have handled it worse. He genuinely just handed me the W. He outed that he was mad, despite saying he wasn't. He got BTFO'd on Twitter via getting ratioed by everybody. And the people in his, like, his oomfies are literal pedos. And I just proved it. So yeah, I'm not too bent out of shape over his tweets. I really am not. Also, not being on Twitter means you pretty much can't, like, rally a Twitter hate mob against me. Like, a lot of these people who make hate tweets about me probably don't realize that none of their tweets have any effect on me at all. I don't even see them. Like, I have to get sent them by my friends to ever see them, because the way Twitter works now, so, like, I never lose any subs from, like, hate tweets like that. I never like, slow down in growth. I never even see the hate. It never ends up in my DMs because I don't have a place for them to go to. So I am literally invincible to this shit without Twitter. Get a Tumblr? No, because then I wouldn't be. Like, without having Twitter, I am literally invincible to this type of shit. There's literally no negative effect this kind of stuff has on me. Yellow Flash is smearing Tipster. Tipster is also a groomer. Also, can you go 5 minutes without looking stupid and random e-thought DMs? Also, you're fat. Well, we've also seen that Yellow Flash is fat as well, so once again, projection. Does this guy literally only speak in projection? Because he keeps on listing insults, and then we keep on getting ones confirmed to be true about him. And it's like, so is the other stuff also projection? Like you calling everybody you hate groomers? Like, I mean, there's a lot of actual pedos in your oomfies and in your follows, so, you know, can't really determine what's going on here. Let me actually show you a Yellow Flash video before we finish up here with this segment, because what I think probably happened was this was Yellow Flash drunk tweeting. I think this is almost certainly Yellow Flash drunk tweeting, and the reason for that is, let me put on the video that I originally responded to, and you'll get an idea of how this guy generally conducts himself with his content creation. He uploads all the fucking time. There we go.
Because there's two of them running around, which doesn't make too much sense. I still think he was a better character when he had his own universe instead of sharing one with Peter, because at that point he was his own Spider-Man. But a little bit of like nitpicking aside on this guy, I don't even really mind him that much. He's been...
So either this guy is just like by default pretty slow, or he's just drunk all the time. And I have reason to believe from inside information that he's drunk. Listen, when you get to be a big enough YouTuber, just people talk to you, and you find out stuff about people. And the most common through line I've found out from, like, forbidden knowledge I've gained about these people is that so fucking many of them are alcoholics who are just, they're literally just unironic, crippled alcoholics. Just straight up. Obviously, there's, my favorite example is the quartering pisses in his basement. Cherry, can I say the thing that we know about the thing with the car? Can I say it? Can I please? Can I please? Can I please, Cherry? Please? Please. It's so good. I won't say how I know. Just can I say it? You know the thing. Involves the car and someone who's big drinking. Can I say it, please? I won't say how I know it. Oh my god. Yeah, Cherry, come on. I won't say how I know. Come on, let me drop it. It's so good. It's such good drama. It's such good juice. I can't dangle this in front of my audience and not drop the lore bomb. Fuck it, sure. I won't say how I know, guys. But Keemstar is a frequent drunk driver. When I learned this, I was like, oh, okay. And then I remembered that one famous tweet from Keemstar where he said that he'd hit a dog on his way home on Christmas Eve. Bro was almost certainly drunk driving and ran over a fucking dog on Christmas Eve. Yeah, that's public? Okay, it's public. Never mind. Dude, I always learn this, like, info, and I hold on to it for literal years, and then by the time I get to talk about it, it's already public. I need to drop some of the fucking forbidden truths I have, okay? One of these days, if I ever die, I'm gonna set up, like, a heart monitor that's connected to my heartbeat and write a document of forbidden truths I've learned, and when my heartbeat stops, it automatically gets posted on the internet. And every secret I know just goes out the second that heart monitor detects that my heartbeat has stopped. Xanderhall, remember Keemstar literally said on stream we are slaves to society because we can't drive drunk? He did say that. That is true. Okay, we gotta watch the famous clip, though.
You never know.
This is, like, how most of these guys, these, like, middle-aged men who do this like anti-lefty, anti-woke reactionary grift content, they are all like this. I don't know what it is that is the commonality that makes this the case, but I can't explain it. It's just how it is. They are all like this.
No. Maybe I'm going to pee in my trash can down here. I don't know.
His wife's out getting pizza without him.
My wife went out for pizza without me, and I'm angry about it. So I'm going to win this round, and I'm going to pee. If I don't win this round, I'm going to pee in my own basement.
Did you get piped, bro?
What do we think about that?
Like, this guy's literally at home getting drunk as shit, pissing in his basement while his wife is out getting pizza. That is the Quartering's life, and this guy is, like, making videos where he insults people on the left, calling them cucks for thinking minorities matter. Like...
I don't have a bathroom down here. Oh, we made it!
It's all projection. Any insult these people can dream up is projection.
I was ready to pee my pants.
Because they can't dream up insults.
I don't
They're
have a
uncreative.
toilet down here. All I have is a drain in the floor. I feel like we're going to have to use it, though. I feel like we're going to have to use it.
He's going to piss in the floor drain.
Bad.
Bro, just go piss in the bathroom, man. Who cares?
I'll never survive this round.
It's Fall Guys.
I'm not going to survive this round. I got to pee so
I'd
bad.
get it if it was like Rust and you had like military loot and you were trying to get back to base and then you'd go piss. But like, it's fucking Fall Guys.
Oh, I'm almost about to pee my pants. I got to pee so bad. I got to pee so bad. I want to lose so I can pee, but I don't want to lose.
The funny thing is, he probably doesn't have to piss anywhere near as bad as he thinks he does. If you drink and get drunk, you feel like you have to piss more often and more than you really do. I don't know why that's the case, but like, you'll drink like 2 beers and you'll have to piss 4 times. But each time you go piss, it's like a third of what you know your bladder can handle. But it still feels like your bladder is like full and about to burst. Yeah, don't break the seal or you'll really just keep on having to pee.
I have to pee so bad. Don't you dare talk about water.
His own audience hates him.
Come on!
That's the funny thing. Like, look at his chat. His own audience hates him.
I have to pee so bad. You guys don't even know.
That's the funny thing about most of these conservative content creators is that most of the joy derived from their own audiences is at the bad things befalling the creator, right?
I don't even know what to say.
Like, the worst of the worst Chud content creators, like people like Baked Alaska who do the degenerate live streams in those RVs where they just go RVing around the country, drinking and like molesting underage girls and screaming the N-word in restaurants and stores and getting arrested but let out the very next night. The chat is laughing whenever they get pepper sprayed or beat up or arrested by the cops the whole time. Their own fans hate them and want to see bad things happen to them, even though they principally agree on politics. At a certain point, when your entire political worldview is based around nothing but hate and like searing lack of love for any other humans, then eventually you're not even going to be capable of working together to achieve maximum hate. It'll all tear itself apart in the end.
Don't talk about water. Don't talk about water. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. I made the final round. Somebody owes me 10 subs. Somebody owes me 10 subs. I made it to the final round.
Like, his audience is actively trying to get him to piss himself
I have to be
and
so
make it
bad,
worse
though.
for him. Because they like
It's hard
seeing
to
him suffer.
describe
He's like early in
how
the game
angry my
too,
bladder
dude.
is.
Like he's
You guys don't know.
got
It's
a
gonna
while.
Explode. My bladder's gonna blow.
He's got a while before he can go.
Nobody's
This isn't
gonna
ending
eliminate
anytime
either.
soon. Like, that's the thing. He should have just like got up and let himself lose in the first round. He like started saying he had to piss in the first round. That's when he should have just ended it. Or the second round or the third. Like, the further in you get, the worse you're making it for yourself. You just get up and let yourself die and then come back after you pissed. You're like gonna have to start anyway. So like you're just wasting more time and suffering longer.
Get up!
But he's drunk and he doesn't care because he's like probably depressed over his wife cheating on him or something. All right, now he's gonna go piss in the floor. So he did all that just to lose. You know what's fucking disgusting? You know what's fucking absolutely abhorrent? Do you know what that is behind him? I know what that is. I know what this thing is. Do you guys know what this is? Do you guys know what this is? Because I know what it is. That is one of the original World of Warcraft server computers. From Vanilla WoW. That's what that is right there. This is one of the original World of Warcraft vanilla server computers that have since been framed in these like acrylic epoxy cases, and all like 40 of them have been sold off and are super rare collector's items worth millions or something like that. And the Quartering makes so much fucking money, he owns one. One of these like extremely priceless gamer collectible items that's like an integral part of gaming history. Wasted in the den of some basement pisser. That is how much money these people make off of their horse shit they shovel down the throats of their audience. They have more money than God, as far as YouTubers are concerned. Zan deserves to have a WoW server computer more than the quarter nuts. Quarter nuts. You can hear him pissing. Boy's frying that chicken. God has no money, though. God has infinite money if he wants to. Or she wants to. You don't know. Or they. God's probably non-binary. If God exists, God's definitely non-binary. That's the only way it would make sense for us to be made in God's image. Or gender fluid, or something like that.
I've literally never lost that round. I've never lost that round.
That's him pissing in his basement floor while drunk as shit while his wife is out getting pizza without him. Yeah, these people are really... Oh my god, the Quartering... Oh, it's so good. For those that don't know, Yellow Flash and the Quartering are buddies, and they're just clones of each other. They make the same type of content. The things that are true of one of these guys is true of all of them. So I want to show you another one. I hope you guys are ready for some fucking cringe, because you guys are about to hear the Quartering's in-depth cuck fantasy. About Gina Carano. Thank you, subreddit called Saltier Than Crate. Coming in clutch once again.
Gina and I could do an excellent on-screen romance where, like, I'm the best friend. I'm like her best friend, but I pine after her. And then she just keeps banging all these other dudes. And then I'm, like, all sad. And then she, like, realizes that I was me all along. And that she comes to, you know, and then she comes to realize
he's drunk
it,
here,
and,
too.
And then we live happily ever after. Like, I think we could do that. I mean, that's what I think. I just mean, like, I think it's there. She could just keep hooking up with fit dudes, MMA dudes, and then, like, they don't make her laugh, you know? They don't get her. And then there's me. I'm just like, oh, hey, Gina. Oh, you look tired. Did you bang another dude tonight? Oh, sweet. And then, like, my heart's breaking, you know?
Who remembers when his porn search
Gina
history leaked, too? Oh, sorry. Who remembers the Quartering's... Hold on. The Quartering... porn history. Bro, it was so fucking funny, dude. Oh my god. We need to make sure they can never live any of these things down. He decided to show his search browser while typing, and typed R, and auto-filled restream.io first, then Ruby Rose, and then Reddit forced cream pie. Look at his face, too. You can see he's drunk here as well. Interestingly, you'll find literally in every clip I could show you of the quartering, he is drunk. Most of these people, when they record, when they stream, they are drunk. They don't seem like they can function without alcohol. Not really a good thing. Not really a sign that they're living the happiest of lives, I would personally say. But, you know, it's always good to know that all of your political opponents who believe just downright evil things are all living the most miserable, ugly lives you could possibly imagine, and all of their insults towards you that sound so bizarre and out there and just, like, weird and random aren't weird and random. They're just accusing you of what they are and what they do. It's projection. Always remember that, guys. If a conservative insults you 99.9% of the time, it's projection. Nice. What'd you guys think of that segment? I think it came out pretty damn good. Tipster and Sherry will cry if you don't react to this. I can edit this into... Okay. You can edit this bit in? Hold on, what's this? I got sent a link by Cherry. What is this? It's a clip of Augie RFC playing what looks like... I know this game. I know what game this is. I've seen YouTubers play it and like flood cities with it or something.
Flamenco, I do have to confront you though.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
So what is this this clip that people linked to me?
So somebody sent me a
So the guy talking right now is the guy that used to stalk me. Probably does still stalk me, but is very careful not to make it obvious these days.
a fuck, marry, kill between you, a person who is like my step cousin, like,
Okay, whatever you have to say to make yourself feel better, but okay.
yeah, she's related to my stepfather's sister through like marriage or whatever. So it's like it's a weird thing. And a person named Pantsu Party, who is Ethan Ralph's fiance. So I said I would unalive Pantsu. I would fuck you, and I would marry the girl.
It's very awkward.
The other girl.
Very
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
that would be very awkward for family get-togethers if you marry.
I'm sorry, but the redheads are just like.
Okay. Isn't he from Tennessee? You know, yeah, when in Tennessee, right? You know, you went in the American South. You do as the American South does. God. To be fair, he did say step cousin, but so no blood relation, but still, the idea of ever considering, like, engaging with a hypothetical involving sexualizing a family member on its own is so K-Kona, Alabama, whatever, that it's just worth making absolute fun of. Yeah. Might as well consider it the same. Who cares? It's hilarious. Okay. That was a good segment. We did good. We had fun. We did good with that segment. I'm proud of you guys. We all did good. Bloop. We are going to be dunking on Carlgon of Akkad. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. I don't really feel like Sargon, or Carlgon of Akkad, as I like to call him, really needs much introduction on this side of the internet. He's kind of been like a joke for quite a while now. He used to be one of the largest far-right content creators masquerading as like a centrist skeptic or whatever back in the day, back during the Gamergate era, but he's since fallen off quite hard, and nowadays he just does a podcast called Lotus Eaters for a not so large audience that is continuously dwindling by the day. He doesn't really have much staying power left in him by the looks of things, but you know, maybe he'll end up pulling through and he'll see another age of prominence online sometime in the future, but it really doesn't seem that way, considering his reputation has been kind of destroyed by his past behavior, and everybody considers him a total joke. And he's just kind of slowly dying as far as his relevance online. So it doesn't really seem like there's really much of a point in engaging with him as far as his political views anymore. Like, he's just slowly falling into obscurity. However, he went semi-viral recently, in a negative way for him, I should add, when both random people, those that already knew of him and disliked him, and his own fans started dunking on him for some supposedly horrific food takes he had. Now, these food takes are no doubt based in racism. Like, let's be real, you'll hear him in a second, but I'm pretty sure that racism is probably motivating the opinions he has here, much in the same way that the conservative opinion on, like, modern music is often motivated by racism and opposition to the influence of other cultures or groups of people they don't like. Even though on the surface, them saying, I think this type of music is schlock, or I think this type of food is schlock, is, you know, seems very apolitical and non-offensive outside of, you know, maybe offending people who like that food. But generally with political, you know, mouthpieces like this, when they're talking about something that seems this outside of their territory, there's definitely a reason why they're talking about it. And in this case, I think it's probably racism. And Sargon basically got dunked on, for those that don't know, he's British, for shitting on Mexican food. He says Mexican food is awful, and that they only use spices and lime and salt, etc., and to cover the taste of the bad food. He claimed Mexican food uses seasoning and peppers, etc., to cover the taste of the bad food. I guess this is just a moment where British people fundamentally don't understand that the peppers and the garnish and the seasonings, etc., that add to the flavor are part of the food. Like, they're an ingredient, not like a hack. Like, yes, unseasoned chicken tastes pretty bad. It does. But if you add peppers and, like, onions and garlic to it, it comes out pretty damn good. That's not covering up the bad flavor of the chicken. But it's literally incomprehensible. We'll get into it in a minute.
It began with a simple tweet from a chap called Philip Lemoyne, who's an average PhD student. Americans genuinely...
Oh, before we get into this, by the way, he tweeted an image of his breakfast to try to, like, trigger people, I guess. And this is what he posted. Honestly, though, not the worst British breakfast I've ever seen. I have seen far, far worse. I've seen British breakfast with the color palette gray, gray, and gray. Gray meat? Yeah, it's all, well, yeah, it's British food, so it's always going to be gray, but, like, this actually has some color to it, you know? There's a little bit of green in there, the gravy's kind of mixed with the mashed potatoes. I assume that's mashed potatoes to make it, you know, a little orange. I don't know what this is. I'm assuming this is some kind of pastry or a meat. I actually don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's like a pastry, like, maybe, like a pastry full of gravy? I don't know what that is. And I'm guessing Yorkshire pudding. That's Yorkshire pudding. This is pudding? Okay, no, this is vile. This is actually, like, disgusting. This is what he posted. He posted pudding, peas and green beans, whatever that is, and gravy slathered meat. all mixed together on the same plate, just mixing together like a hot casserole on the plate. That's beans? This is not beans. What? Though the round things are the pudding. Oh, are they made of blood or something? It's jam. Is that jam on top of it? What is this? It's not actually pudding? Why is it called Yorkshire pudding then? Good God. It's blood. Yeah, they use blood to make the fucking pudding, right? Like, also, I don't know. You guys use all sorts of disgusting shit, you British motherfuckers.
Genuinely believe they have better food than France. They believe it. It's truly.
Americans genuinely believe they have better food than France. They genuinely believe it's truly extraordinary. Yes, we do. America has the best food in the world, and do you want to know why? Our diversity. I know it's like a meme to say, like, restaurants are a big reason why America's diversity is good, but it really is. And honestly, moving from the East Coast to the West Coast, I just thought about this today, has been one of the best realizations of that. When you're on the East Coast and you order, let's say you go to a Chinese restaurant and you want to get what's called General Tao chicken. If you go to like a restaurant on the East Coast to get it, it's going to be like sweet. Like you have to order it spicy to even get a tiny bit of spice to it. And it's going to be sweet and like honey flavored and very Americanized, for lack of a better term. In California, you were really going to be hard pressed to find mild General Tao chicken or like more Americanized versions of Chinese food. It just became a little bit harder when in Southern California. Then I moved to Seattle. And you cannot find that shit anywhere, dude. You cannot fucking find that, like, East Coast hyper-Americanized Chinese food anywhere. So it's literally varied as far as your, like, restaurant and food menu picks based on where in the country you are, even if you're going to the same type of restaurant. A Chinese restaurant in Florida and a Chinese restaurant in Seattle have extremely different menus, and even if you get the same thing off both menus, they taste really different and are made very differently for a very different palate, dude. It is crazy. My mom says they don't even have egg rolls here, apparently, yeah. Like, so unironically, just the existence of so many different cultures iterating on, modifying, or keeping the same and continuing their foods all in America, and there being such a vast industry in doing this, alone means that America has the best food. Because American food is everything food. American food is Italian, fucking African food, Caribbean food, Mexican food, fucking French food, Russian food, like imagine any country, any culture, you can get that food here. And it is American because America is everybody who comes here and lives here and is a citizen here spiritually. I don't care about citizenship legally. It means nothing to me. The idea of being a citizen to me is very different than like the legal definition. If you're here and you like live here and you're like here to be here and you're up in here, then you're a citizen in my mind. The Columbian Exchange is the main reason why most of Europe has anything to eat that's even kind of worth eating. Yeah. No, like legitimately, Europe is like the least good food in my opinion. I'd say South and Central America beats out every other country, followed by Japan specifically. And then I haven't really gotten to listing the rest. Japan has some good-ass food. Or, I mean, like, the Americanized version of it is pretty fucking good.
Extraordinary. To which then the average Frenchman replied, all of the cope in the replies and quote tweets is like, America has a lot of good restaurants, which is true and not the point. The American food scene has improved tremendously in the past 15 years, which is impressive. But what the average American eats is poisonous, disgusting slop.
Okay. So I don't... For one, there's no such thing as American food. Like, America has never had its own distinct cultural identity enough to be able to invent food in that way, unless you want to consider, like, funnel cake or whatever. As far as flavor, American food is top tier. As far as what it does to your body, it is absolutely poisonous and disgusting. That's not incorrect. But if we're talking about the flavor and the look of it, American food is fantastic. For example, hypers in chat if you don't know what a funnel cake is. I'm actually really curious how many foreigners in chat don't know what a funnel cake is. DJ Reaper Skier doesn't know? That's 2 people? 3 people? All right, so this is a very, very common snack you will get at the fair.
Welcome to Bennett's.
They're extremely common to get at the fair. So here's a video on how you make funnel cakes. Copyrighted music, nice, love it. Powdered sugar, ice cream, strawberries, and chocolate drizzle. So it's basically pancake mix, deep fried into like a cool pattern because it instantly like forms a solid structure when heated up to that level. And then you make it into sort of like a cool shaped pancake, cover it in powdered sugar, put a little bit of strawberry on that, a little bit of ice cream or whipped cream on top of that, and you're ready to go. A little bit of chocolate syrup on top of it, and it's awesome. Very bad for you, but fucking delicious.
He carries on in.
That's an American food.
The produce in an average French market is just leaps and bounds beyond anything in the US. Just leaps and bounds. A surprising amount of replies talk about Mexican food, which is hilarious. We are so good at putting slop on a tortilla. What do you say about that, Frenchie? Is posting an L. Nobody outside the US or Mexico cares about Mexican food. That is just so true as well. Right?
The reason why British people specifically don't care for Mexican food is because they don't understand the concept of flavor, for starters. Second, Mexican food is very popular outside of America too. It's just that America is the central-most location where Mexican restaurants and Mexican food would be the most consumed. For example, in England, most people don't take Spanish in high school. In the US, you typically do. In the US, you'll typically take Spanish in high school unless you live like really near to Quebec on the border. Maybe you'll take French instead. Usually you'll take Spanish unless you choose a different language, but generally you'll probably take Spanish. That's like the most practical. It's what they encourage. It's like the go-to. It's what I took. It's what like everybody takes. In the UK, what stood out to me is French is the more common language. French, Italian, or German are the more common languages to learn in school in the UK. Because those are closer, they have more cultural impact within neighboring nations. Mexico is one, not a country with a population full of people with the resources to immigrate to fucking Europe. And two, very, very far from Europe and the rest of the world. Like Mexico is outside of America and its association there, pretty isolated from the rest of the developed world. So it makes sense that Mexican food wouldn't be as common outside of America. I imagine Mexican food is fairly common in Canada. Probably not as common as America, but still. It's even regional based on where you are in America. You'll be somewhat hard-pressed to find a Mexican restaurant in a rural town in, say, Iowa or Illinois. Like, those would be really, like, in a rural town there, you might be hard-pressed to find a Mexican restaurant. However, if you go to, say, California, or you go to New Mexico or Arizona or Nevada, the closer to the border you get, the more common Mexican restaurants get. It's literally that stark, to the point where, like, the further south you go in Southern California, the more Mexican restaurants there are. It is that regional. And it's the same for every other country. This is a bizarrely bogus argument. I don't even know what he's trying to get at here. Actually, Mexican food is so terrible that it's not even popular outside of America. Only you Americans would put that Mexican food in your body. Let me show you a guide on some dope Mexican food real fast.
Wait.
This is one of my favorite fucking foods of all time. My headset's dying and turning back on over and over again. Are we good? Are we good? Okay. This is one of my favorite meals, dude.
So you tried these chicken fajitas. This recipe is easy, loaded with flavor, and who doesn't love a meal in one pan? Hey everyone, it's Natasha of natashaskitchen.com. I'm gonna show you how to make our family favorite chicken fajitas, and I'm hungry, so let's get started. We'll start with the chicken marinade. I like to let the chicken sit and marinate for a while I'm prepping the veggies so that it's packed with flavor.
This is what Sargon refers to as, like, blurring out the slop, quote-unquote. I guess they consider chicken and lettuce and, like, cheese slop? I don't know. I mean, I don't like cheese, but that's just my preference. I don't like cheese mixed with meat. Like, cheese is good. Like, objectively, cheese is a good food. It's just I don't like it with certain things, and even I don't... Like, even I know how deranged what he's saying there is.
Squeeze 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice into a large mixing bowl. This is my favorite citrus squeezer. It seems to have lasted the longest without breaking, and I will link to this in the notes. To that bowl, add 2 tablespoons of olive oil, along with chili powder, paprika, ground cumin, some onion powder, and garlic powder.
British people have already checked out. The second she cut the lime, the British people were already checked out. The British people that stayed literally had a heart attack and died the second they saw paprika get added. The second they saw the paprika, they died of heartburn.
And, of course, some salt and freshly ground black pepper.
Holy shit. I need that. Lady, you're compensating
Stir
for something.
that together until it's combined, and this marinade smells so good. That's gonna add so much flavor to these
I think this lady might have a small cock.
chicken fajitas. Now you'll need 2 large chicken breasts, or about 1.5 pounds total. Cut those in half lengthwise for faster and more even cooking. Once you have your 4 chicken cutlets, transfer those to the marinade. Turn the cutlets in the marinade to make sure they're evenly and generously coated in that sauce.
God
damn. Set
damn.
that aside and let it rest at room temperature while you prep your veggies. Since this process is pretty quick, there's no need to refrigerate the chicken. A quick hand wash and onto the...
I don't think you can get this in the UK. I'm pretty certain you literally can't get this in the UK.
veggie prep. Once we start cooking, this recipe moves really fast, so I like to have everything prepped and ready to go before
they have
we
limes
fire
there,
up the
like at
stove.
stores.
Cut your bell peppers in half, then scrape out the seeds and remove the tops. You can cut away the little white portions in the center of the bell pepper, but it's not
I don't
necessary. Cut them into quarter-inch slices. You can use whatever color bell pepper you have on hand, but using a variety adds just so much color and makes the recipe more fun. Now thinly slice 1 medium onion. For fajitas, I like to cut it in half, then cut off both ends and peel off the outer skin. Now thinly slice your onions, going with the grain from the root to the stem.
Freeze them first.
And the onion tears were crazy on this one. It took me a little bit to recover.
The
We're
colder
ready
the
to
onions
start
are, the less
cooking.
they make
Set
you
a
tear
large,
up.
heavy skillet over medium heat. I prefer using a coated cast iron pan because it's non-reactive. Remember, there's some lime juice in the chicken marinade. Once the skillet is hot, add a tablespoon of oil, then add your chicken in a single layer. Saute for 3 to 5 minutes per side depending on the thickness of your chicken.
That's hilarious.
Cook until it's browned on both sides and it reaches an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit on an instant read thermometer. I really do think using a thermometer will make you a better cook, and I love this one. I will link to it in the notes. Once the chicken is done, transfer
You
that
gotta
to a
cook
cutting
chicken all the
board
way
and let
through,
it rest for
but
a
you
few
don't wanna
minutes
burn
while
it.
you start cooking your veggies. Add another tablespoon of oil to the skillet, then add your onion and sliced bell peppers. Continue sautéing the veggies over medium heat, stirring frequently until the veggies are softened and golden.
I do the veggies and the meat at the same time in different pans so that they're ready at the same time and there's no heat disparity between them because I like to be able to plate it and eat it and it'd be perfect right then and there.
In spots. This takes about 5 to 6 minutes. As you stir, make sure
The
you
vegetables
scrape the
get the
bottom
residual
to get all those yummy
seasoning
bits
and
of flavor from the
marinade.
pan.
Marinade.
A couple
Yeah.
minutes into cooking, I like to sample one of the veggies and add some salt and pepper to
Like you literally want them to like slightly crunch, but they're very tender in your mouth. The slices of pepper, they're very, very tender.
taste.
And they become flavored like the meat because of the marinade and the juices that they cooked in.
As the veggies release steam, you'll notice they start to create their own pan sauce from all the flavorings in the skillet. This results in some seriously flavorful fajitas. When the veggies are almost done, thinly slice your chicken against the grain and add that back to the pan. Because we use that thermometer, you can see the chicken is perfectly cooked and super juicy. People will ask me how I got my chicken so juicy, and my typical answer is I didn't overcook
Marinating.
it.
Yeah,
Stir
well,
that
marinating it
together
for
to
a while
combine.
works.
Take your skillet off the heat, and to keep it warm before serving, I'm gonna cover that with a lid and toast my tortillas. Toasting tortillas is quick, and there are so many ways to do it. You can
Just
toast
put 'em in the
tortillas on a cast iron skillet, on a griddle, or even an outdoor grill, but my favorite
I wouldn't do that.
is to do it over a gas burner on my stove. Now keep an eye on it because it takes just seconds per side. You should see some light charring on each side before you flip. As you take them off the heat, wrap them in a dry kitchen towel to keep them warm. It also
What the fuck is a bell pepper? We have an Australian in chat. Hold on. They come in like 3 colors. Green, yellow, and red. And they're like sweet, mildly spicy peppers. They're hollow. And it's just like this, like maybe inch thick outer shell that you eat. The inside is hollow and full of seeds. And they're really, really good. They're really good. They're like really sweet. They aren't very, they also come in orange, yeah. They're not very spicy at all. They have like a slight tinge. It's a capsicum? Yeah, I think so. I think that's the term for it. Capsicum? Alright, let's see this completed.
Keeps them from
so you guys
drying
can
out.
see. Let's see like how full of shit Sargon is right now. This is what he's calling
Who's
garbage.
excited? Fresh, toasty, and warm fajitas and warm tortillas.
You showed this video specifically because he referred to it as garbage inside of a tortilla, is what he called Mexican food. So I'm assuming he's literally referring to fajitas.
And I love toasting them over the flame like this because they get that beautiful charring effect and it just makes it feel a little more authentic. I love it. All right, now we're gonna build these fajitas because I'm hungry. And I've got all my toppings prepped and ready to go. It's nice to have them prepped ahead of time. That way they're ready when your fajitas are warm. So we're just gonna load this up. Get tons of veggies, tons of chicken. And I love that this is a meal in one. It's just loaded with veggies. It is so satisfying, such a feel-good dinner. And it's nice to squeeze some fresh lime juice over the top of your fajita.
Oh, yeah.
So serve with lime wedges for sure. And a little bit of cilantro. Oh, okay, here we go. Our toppings, we've got our avocado, and you can also use guacamole on fajitas. It's very delicious. And cheese, and you can use whatever cheese you like. I think this one's a Monterey Jack cheese.
Remember, the fun part of this is, particularly with Mexican food, usually, and especially with fajitas and tacos, you make your own. When you go to a Mexican restaurant, they bring you a bunch of tortillas wrapped inside of tinfoil on a hot, like, cast iron, like, little, like, thing with a, like a little cloth thing over it to keep you from burning your hands. And you have, like, your meat and your peppers and stuff like there is there. You've got your cheese, you've got your, like, everything else there. And you can put together your own thing. That's how most Mexican restaurants tend to go if they're not like a chain, like Taco Bell or whatever. You like get your tortillas as a side, and you get your toppings, and you make your own, and you don't add whatever you like, and like you usually they come in like a size about this big or maybe smaller the tortillas will be. At least that's how most Mexican restaurants I've been to are. So like you don't even need to add some of these like ingredients if you don't specifically like them. The idea is that you like make a combination you prefer because you've got all the ingredients like separated out here to combine into whatever you prefer most.
Cheese, you can use cheddar, you can use mozzarella. You can also add fresh iceberg lettuce to this. When my husband worked at Chili's, they'd put that in the little caddies when they served the chicken fajitas. So that's a classic. And then we've got our toppings. So I love to use salsa. You can use homemade salsa, store-bought salsa also. Fresh pico de gallo, and we have such a good recipe for that, is delicious on chicken fajitas.
I'm pretty sure if pico de gallo touched a conservative Englishman's tongue, they would just explode. They would explode. Like, could you imagine? Could you imagine a conservative British man eating that chip with that dip? Look at all the different colors. There's more colors in that dip than there are in the entire palette of the nation of England.
Pico de gallo, and we have such a good recipe for that.
This is beyond England's color palette. They wouldn't be able to handle it.
Is delicious on chicken fajitas. So I'm just gonna top with some salsa. This makes it super saucy and adds a lot more flavor. Okay, and a dollop or two of sour cream.
I'm sorry, but did I mishear you earlier? Did you say bell peppers are mildly spicy? What the fuck are you talking about? They have a little bit of zing to them. It's not like spicy, but it's like the beginning of becoming the flavor of spicy. Like that tiny twinge of like, I guess there's a little heat there, you know? But it's really mild. Like if you're somebody who can't handle spice and you're scared of peppers, you don't need to be scared of bell peppers. That was the point I was making, is that they're very mild.
Cream. So good. My mouth is watering. I'm really sorry if you...
Maybe you might have had bad bell peppers though. Good bell peppers have a bit of spice to them. That's the flavor that they have. Otherwise they almost taste flavorless.
You guys are so hungry watching this. Oh, I cannot wait.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're gonna just dive into the taste test because everything good, everything we love about chicken fajitas is wrapped in this tortilla. So epic and delicious. Okay.
It's a good fucking fajita, dude.
Oh. I'm just... Do I have salsa over here on my face? I am just in such a happy place right now. I'd like to just cut all the cameras and finish eating this because it is packed with flavor and you can really taste the spices on the chicken. Make this once and you'll make it over and over because your family will give you recipe requests. I hope you guys love this and we'll see you on the next episode of Natasha's Kitchen.
God, those fucking fajitas are so good it makes me want to skin her husband, wear his skin as a suit just so I can pretend to be him and eat her cooking. That is fucking insanely good. So yeah, Sargon is legitimately just like just delusional with his food takes. And what the fuck? Wait, no, that's a compliment. The food's so good. The food's so good. I literally just want to take the place of her husband so that I can eat the food. That's literally it. I just want to eat her cooking. I just want to be able to eat those fajitas. Xana's so real for that. You guys have never taken someone's skin before? You haven't lived.
Right. One thing Americans are better at, he says, is steak. You guys typically cook steak better, and while the average meat in France is leaps and bounds beyond the average meat in the US, you guys have top tier meat. He's right, but French meat does suck. He's right about that. And so this somehow gained the ire of one Matty Iglesias, the guy who thinks there should be 1 billion people in the United States. And
okay. One thing I always find funny about conservatives is they can never they can never ever repeat their opposition's argument truthfully, right? Like, they never refer to our positions on, say, gender identity as saying, the left believes that it is possible for there to be more than two genders because it's a social construct. They say that social constructs, yada, yada, like, they don't explain it like that. They just refer to our beliefs as, the left believes gender is fake, and there's an infinite amount of genders. They, like, purposefully strawman as much as possible because they are so unwilling to engage with the argument honestly. All they care about is trying to win, and playing fair, for them, would not be conducive with winning. If the right played fair, they would have lost long, long, long ago, and they would have lost forever.
Various other things. And he just posted this. One thing that can unite America in this age of hyper-partisanship is dunking on Peg's food takes. But he is totally right about that.
There's a few aspects of this conversation I found fun.
Go on.
First one, him being, we're making the point that actually loads of Americans have noticed when they go on holiday for a substantial period of time, which is they'll go to somewhere in Europe, not necessarily France, and they'll live and they feel pretty normal. And they get back to America and they realize the food is poisoning them.
Yes.
And they're like, hang on.
That is unironically real and pretty common. The reason for this is not that American food itself is bad, like in the term of like what ingredients are used in combination and what the diet is. It's that the ingredients themselves are generally not very... They're just not very good. They're not very good. Like, the quality of ingredients used for most of our processed food that we eat, and we eat a lot of processed food, is not as good as what they're using in those other countries. A lot of the amount of certain ingredients in American foods, in American processed food, is illegal to have in a lot of European countries. A lot of America's obsession with a lack of control over the market has resulted in a pretty crazy amount of freedom for companies to kind of poison the people consuming their products. And that is a stark contrast to a lot of European countries where you'll go there and you'll eat the food, and you'll even eat foods that you're familiar with, and you just won't get sick like American food will make you sick. And I do think American food makes you sick. I think you have to build a tolerance to it, because I've seen people travel and just not be like used to American food, and it makes them feel sick, and that's a real thing. Granted, it's also a real thing that people say if you go to like Britain and you're eating nothing but beans and toast for 2 or 3 weeks, and then you go back to America and eat like a super mega greasy burger, like some insane fucking heart clogger, chances are your body's not going to be ready for it, you know? You haven't been getting that constant, like, input of horrible, unhealthy food to your body that it's grown accustomed to, and you're just going to hit it out of nowhere after it gets used to healthy food with unhealthy food, and boom, you know?
Hang on, that's strange.
I saw one of a woman who went to, it was France, I think she went to, and she was like, for some reason, I can eat the bread here, but when I go back to America, I get my irritable bowel syndrome back.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, that really makes you think, doesn't it?
A couple
of... What is Sargon suggesting here? Like, yeah, like in America, a lot of like restaurants and stuff like that you get bread from put an insane amount of sugar in their bread. You know that's what it is, right? Like, it's the sugar in the bread that makes you sick. I mean, unless you have like a gluten intolerance. Unless you've got like a gluten intolerance, generally for most people that get sick from eating a lot of bread, it's the sugar. We put a lot of sugar in our bread here. Our bread also has a higher gluten content, apparently, but we also put a lot of sugar in our restaurant bread. Subway is notorious for it, but a lot of restaurants do it. It's why when you eat like their rolls or you eat like their buns, they taste so sweet and so flavorful. It's because they put a lot, and we eat a lot of sweet bread that's like literally extra sugar. Sugar really fucks with your digestive system, and we put so much sugar and so much butter, so much processed fats into what we cook here. And that's very different. American milk is rank as well, probably from the corn feed, yeah.
For the reasons, I mean, we'll get into it later, but the bread you buy in the supermarket here, you know, the bread, soft stuff, It's not actually from a bakery. Like that kind of is poison. Follow the conversation.
It's not from a bakery.
It's not proper bread. It's industrial.
Well, yeah,
slop
sure. It's not like
as well. But
sure. It's yeah.
follow the conversation. But
Mass.
I have no idea what they're referring to here. I'm assuming this is some British shit. Like they're referring to like a bakery in Britain they don't like a chain bakery.
Mass bread.
But take that and then make Americans make it, who of course then add sugar and turn it into what is legally classified as cake now in Ireland. So that's why Subway sandwiches is Subway cake.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know.
Bread is classified as cake.
It's got that.
This is actually a lie. This is a complete lie. There is a shred of truth to it, but it's the same thing I mentioned before. There was basically a legal kerfuffle in like Ireland or something like that, or it might have been Scotland, over the high sugar content within Subway's bread. And people tried to say, oh, it's classified as cake legally. No, it was literally just that they had a problem with the amount of sugar in it, and people were saying it's practically cake because it's so sugary, but that's not what cake is. Cake is fundamentally a different thing than bread. Like fundamentally the ingredients and the structure is different. It's not the same thing. Bread and cake are literally they are different structures and different compounds. There's a same base, but still.
That much sugar in it. Right.
Actually, do you want to see like the truth? Let me show you the truth. This segment's been so long for me just dunking on food takes from Sargon. Let me show you the truth. British kids try American Southern food. This video goes hard as fuck. These children have just tasted for the first time. These kids are about to taste for the first time in their entire lives, dude. We're about to witness British people taste. All right, let's watch.
We're going to be trying.
Don't taste it like cake.
Real biscuits.
What is this?
What do you think it is? A scone.
They're not scones.
Real biscuit.
They look exactly like scones. They are.
It's an American...
Biscuit.
Biscuit.
Nailed it. They're not. Biscuits are so weird.
What do you guys think of when you think of a biscuit?
Crunchy. English biscuits are quite like thin.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So what are you holding right now? A biscuit. That is a scone.
So what the fuck is a digestive wafer? Whenever I go through the ethnic foods aisle at the grocery store and you go past the British section next to like the Jaffa Cakes and the Jammy Dodgers, you see something called digestible biscuits. Why the fuck are they called digestible biscuits? What kind of fucking name is that? Why do British people give their food? It makes you shit? Why do they give them a gross name? It's a cookie that helps with digestion? I thought British people didn't have problems with their digestion. I thought their food was so much better. Anyway.
It's a biscuit. Whoa, it's so soft.
It looks fluffy.
Just like bread.
You halved it like a scone.
I don't know how this can be a biscuit.
Well, that's normal. He did it right. He literally did it right on his first try. You're supposed to do it like that. You literally cut it in half horizontally and you put some jam on there or something, some butter, and then you make it into a little sandwich. I mean, you can eat them on their own, but like the way to eat them with something on them is to cut them horizontally and make it into a little biscuit sandwich. A little gravy on there, maybe. Depends on what you're in the mood for.
Wow, that's really good.
It's good.
Why would you split something so small? They would always serve biscuits for breakfast in school as like school breakfast, and they would give you a biscuit and then a little packet with a little peel tab that has a little perfect cube of jam in it that perfectly fits the biscuit. There were a few other ones you could get too, a few other things you could put on it too, but I always got the strawberry jam. Or the grape jam. And so you like peel it back and you just kind of like squeeze the little like plastic thing a few times and it would like drop the little jam cube onto your little biscuit that you've like sliced horizontally. You would put the other part on, it would squish and become a little biscuit jam sandwich, and that would be part of your breakfast. That would be part of your school breakfast. I remember eating those in the morning very fondly.
It's like sweet bread, basically.
That fresh loaf of bread.
You looked surprised, Imran. Was it not what you were expecting?
Not at all.
What were you expecting?
I don't know, something like with a filling inside, probably.
Like a donut?
Yeah.
How does it compare to a scone?
Well, you can put a filling
I'm a
on.
bad at my country would say these are better than scones.
Uncrustables are great.
No, that's nice. I like that. 6 hours.
Do you guys eat PB&J in British land? I know I have a few British people in my chat right now. Do you guys eat PB&J, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches? Is that a thing? Because that is a classic snack. 2 slices of white bread, some peanut butter, and some jelly. Simple. A fast meal that will fill you up. Not so much. Interesting. P, B, and J. The letter P, the letter B, and like an ampersand and J is how people like spell it. Peanut butter and jelly.
10. Okay. That's solid 6.
I mean, considering in America, you'd almost never just have that by itself. You'd almost always pair it with something.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this.
Yes.
Yeah. Gravy. Yeah.
Gravy.
What? Why? How do
They don't
eat?
understand. They're thinking British gravy. They're thinking disgusting, rank British gravy on top of this. They don't know. It's American gravy. It's it's the gravy that was specifically made for this, and it's different.
Scones and gravy.
Now, it's a bit different than the gravy you might
It's
know.
white. That's not gravy. That is not gravy.
What is that?
That is not gravy, I'm sorry.
It looks a bit like it has so many vegetables in it.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's lumpy.
Oh, lovely.
It's lumpy.
You have to eat.
You wouldn't drizzle it over it. That's like the most awful thing ever. You dip it into the gravy. I mean, I guess you could drizzle it, but like I always dip it.
You don't have to.
Let's call it interesting. Let's call it interesting for now. I'm not gonna make a judgment.
Oh my days.
Wait till you see the reaction when they taste it.
Rank. Looks like a chopped up ferret.
The thing is, like, gravy.
A chopped up ferret.
It does though. Like a little
chopped
bit.
up ferret.
A little bit.
This is Sargon before.
Vomit. I can't lie.
It looks like vomit, to be honest.
Okay.
But gravy in England doesn't look like this. Quite runny normally, and it's not as thick as this, and it doesn't
We
have
have
like
that
tons
gravy
of bits
too.
in it.
Well, dig in.
Let's see what you think.
We eat that with turkey.
I'm so scared to try this.
Why are you scared?
Well, scones and gravy seems really weird.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh my God,
huh?
that's so good.
Yeah, it is, you motherfucker. Yeah, it is. Now you found out.
Wow.
You were talking so much shit. They were talking so much shit before, weren't they? They were talking so much shit in the first bite. It's like that scene in Adventure Time where Finn tries the human-flavored soy people, and the episode just smash cut ends with him trying what human tastes like and enjoying it. He smiles, and it just cuts to the credits. Made that same fucking face.
There's a lot going on in that. Like, I'm baffled. Like, what even is this?
Okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It's quite nice.
It's not too bad. It looks and smells rank, but it actually doesn't taste too
It
bad.
looks worse than it is. It looks worse, yeah.
I think I like it, but I wouldn't say it's a gravy.
So Americans would call that sausage gravy.
Oh, probably I like it. I love sausages.
I think it tastes good with the biscuit and gravy. If I just have the gravy by itself, it would just taste a bit nasty.
They're embarrassed
You
they
wouldn't
like
drink
it, yeah.
gravy by itself in England either.
I would.
Oh, really? So you're a fan of British gravy. What do you think about American sausage gravy?
This might be better. It makes the scones a lot better. I mean, the biscuit.
So what do you think about the combination?
It's amazing. It makes the biscuit go from a 0 to a 10.
Wow.
They somehow go well together, but it seems so weird. Can I have a bit more?
You can, yeah, have yourself.
It's not presented.
They asked for more.
You know what it made?
That's how good our food is. These are British people tasting for the first time.
You want biscuit?
Admittedly, they probably got home that night and had a pretty bad go of it on the toilet because, you know, first time trying American food. But hey, it's worth it. You know they'll come back for more. American food is so good that you will eat it. 6 hours later, you will regret it in the bathroom, and the next day you'll go get more. Rinse and repeat. Literally rinse and repeat.
It's jam.
You know, like that double cream or something.
You're just describing scones.
Sweet things. You just want a cream
want a
and
scone.
jam on it. That's literally
Do you
a
want an
scone.
English cup of tea as well?
I don't mind the taste. For me, it's the wording of everything is wrong.
Yeah.
It's not gravy and it's not a biscuit. If it was called cake with sauce, it would make more sense, wouldn't it? Again, that doesn't sound very nice either.
It probably sounds like an American hearing beans on toast for the first time.
Toad in a hole.
Bangers and mash.
Yeah.
Spotted dick.
Spotted dick. Yeah.
That's vile. When I heard a spotted dick for the first time, I was like, okay, so what disease is that? What disease causes spotted dick? Is that like a type of herpes?
Always wanted to say that in school to my headmaster.
Great.
I think this would be exactly the sort of thing that would be for Americans like beans on toast. They wouldn't think of those two things together.
I would say this is better than beans on toast.
Someone call the police.
I wouldn't go that
No,
far.
okay, no, wait. This has like
It's
a
definitely
lot of
better
flavour
than
to
beans
it.
on
Beans
toast.
just have one flavour. Like, come on, it's not that special.
Once you get over the visual, you're
Yeah,
like,
and sausage gravy has this almost like slight mild spice to it as an aftertaste. It's hard to even call spice, but it's like it sort of lingers for a bit. A nice little aftertaste it has. It's different from the main taste, and it makes you want to eat more of the sausage gravy.
oh, this is actually really good. It's salty.
It's warming.
Yeah, it's that pepper.
comforting.
It's the pepper.
There's a
yeah.
kind of weird buttery scone in the middle.
You guys are really good salesmen.
Although that's a very classic pairing. In the South, you'll often have it with Southern fried chicken.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
Okay.
The piece de resistance.
I love my chicken.
Some
Dip some in the
tendies.
gravy and see what it's like together.
Some fucking tendies. There it is. Now that's American food.
Absolutely amazing.
That's
Just violating
American
the
food.
I want to taste the chicken, man.
I'm the same way.
That's great. Right in there.
Oh, wow, so it actually makes me happy.
They fucking love it
Oh my
because it's
God.
just that good.
Oh my God.
Oh my god. The biscuits and the gravy on its own, not
Now they know why we fry everything. They just found out why Americans fry everything. Why do Americans fry everything? They're so fat. Even though England has almost the same horrible obesity rates as America, we still say that Americans are super fat. Oh my god, why do they fry everything? Now you fucking know.
amazing crumble, but the chicken is good with the gravy and the biscuit.
This is good. Why do they make this? But this is so good. This is actually so good.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's one of the best things I've had with chicken in my life.
Really?
So, it's okay. Big bit of gravy on the chicken. Absolutely lovely.
I don't know how it works. Gravy, sausage, a fake scone, and chicken. And it
A
somehow
fake
all
scone?
works.
Okay, they don't even say scone. They say scone. It's like British people's accents have gotten Britishier since their words were invented. Like they used to say scone, but now they've Britished it even more into scone. Posh as fuck. Is scone posh? Generally, with American accents, it would be considered posh to enunciate every syllable more. Like for example, my accent is a pretty neutral American accent, a Midwest American accent. My natural way of speaking has a very slight Southern twang to it, especially when I just kind of loosen it a little bit, you know, just kind of loosen my speaking and just kind of speak more casually. And it does take a little effort to speak with that sort of Midwest, super neutral, every syllable of every word, fairly heavily enunciated way of speaking that everybody can understand pretty clearly. But it's worth doing. This is how you want your accent to sound generally if you're an American that does content. You probably don't want to sound like this unless you're making content for a pretty targeted demographic. And I don't know, what's like a California, like what's like the opposite? You probably don't want to sound like this if you're like making videos for a broad audience. You know, like you don't want to have that like that sort of like city person kind of snark I guess. I don't know how you, like, super fast talking, snarky sounding Valley Girl accent. You probably don't want to have that if you're, yeah, like LSP. You don't want to sound like LSP from Adventure Time if you're trying to make content that's meant to be understandable by a broad audience of people who maybe don't even speak English as their first language.
They're so good.
What do you normally have a biscuit in the UK with?
Cup of tea.
Cup of tea. In the South, they've also developed their own culture for biscuits and tea.
They put gravy in the tea now.
No. You don't have tea with gravy. It's Southern tea.
First thoughts, I thought it was Coke.
Looks like a Coke, doesn't it?
Hell
Why
yeah.
is it called if it's tea?
I'm very reluctant.
Is this your first ever
Iced tea?
Yeah, I know, right? We haven't experienced life yet.
Let's do cheers.
Good tea. American tea.
That's nice. That's proper nice. Yeah. This one.
Yeah.
This is
Very
the one.
sweet,
This
huh?
is all of them.
Sugary.
Iced tea's so good.
Sometimes you get iced tea at a restaurant, though, that makes you go, because it's just so sweet. They put way too much sugar in. I wonder if they put some lemon in there. Because iced tea is usually served with a little bit of, like, a little lemon along the rim in the South, and you would usually squirt a little bit of lemon in.
Oh my days.
Really sweet. I really like it.
You know what? I think that's better than hot tea.
Wow.
If I gave this to like my mum and dad, if they didn't like this more, we would have problems.
Oh, wow.
You hear that, Theo's parents?
Okay.
Oh, that's so good.
Our food's so good, you will disown your family if they don't like it once you've had it. So, I just want to be so clear here. Sargon's food takes are so wrong and so bad, they are literally racist. That is my thesis here, and that will be the title of this video. What do you guys think of that segment? I feel like it came out really good. My mom tells it like a horror story, going to Illinois, ordering a sweet tea, and the server having no clue what it is. Oh, God. A drama bomb potentially dropped? I DM'd it to you. Nah, this isn't that spicy. Is it? I mean, it doesn't really look like anything spicy is happening. Can you give me like a summary? Apparently Skyda's Minecraft is back, but he's moved on to doing music. He doesn't do like Minecraft content anymore. He's trying to be like a SoundCloud dude or something.
Oh hey, I didn't see you there. How's it going? It's been a long time. It's been a fucking long time. I'm sure you have so many questions. Where have you been? What have you been up to? You probably have so many questions. You fucking stable now? Yes. Over the last several years, I've gone through quite the roller coaster of emotions.
Okay. Sorry, no, this video is like too incomprehensible. And I genuinely wasn't even that big of a Sky Does Minecraft guy back in the day. I don't know if you guys know this, but Sky Does Minecraft was the original obnoxious Minecraft YouTuber. Like, respect to him for being one of the OGs and all that. I don't hate him or anything like that, but back in the day, he was the original Minecraft YouTuber to dislike even if you were a kid. Because, like, his, like, the whole butter thing came off as annoying to a lot of people, and people hated that other people who were his fans repeated it all the time. And it was just, he was one of those content creators who was like, he was like the original dream. He was like the original dream, like a Minecraft YouTuber who got really big, and then it became pretty popular to dislike him because his influence started to annoy people who weren't really into his content. Is he running a cult? I don't know. I have not kept up. I've really not kept up with what's going on with him, to be honest. Oh, by the way, have you guys seen that video about the guy who snuck onto Disney's Discovery Island to try to find out if there was like a hybrid bird dinosaur robot cyborg there, and then he got caught and the police came and he had to like go full naked snake mode to sneak off the island, swimming through like miles of alligator infested water to get back to the shore and escape the police. Dude, you guys don't know? Yeah, it happened in Florida, Disney World, dude. Shark 300 showed us that. All right, we're gonna. People in chat don't know, so we're gonna watch this because this is a Florida ass segment. We'll do a surprise segment on this. Screw it. Fembro, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate that. Very kind of you. Thank you, thank you. Sent me an Imgur link. What is this? It says this post may contain erotic or adult imagery. By continuing, you acknowledge that you are 18 years of age. It's not even... Wait, what? Why would it market that? What? It's not even... Okay, I guess it was just Imgur being weird. That's okay. Miles Morales is Spider-Man. Grow the fuck up. Groomer! Groomer! That is good. That would be good to use in the thumbnail. I feel like that would be good for the thumbnail. Thank you. That's based. That's based. Is that like a specific Chad Jack of me? Is this a custom Zan Chad Jack, or was this... It is uncanny how it does actually look like me. Looks like it, yeah. They got the facial hair down. Okay. Hold on. All right. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. Okay, everybody. We're going to be watching a video today by a small up-and-coming channel that you guys should definitely go check out. Links in the description and the pinned comments. Who made a video about a pretty interesting topic. The channel's name is Doplex, D-O-P-L-E-X, and they made a video called The Manhunt on Disney's Forbidden Island. Now, this obviously caught my attention, and I watched a good bit of it, but I thought it would be good to watch on stream with you guys because I'm actually going to be taking a trip to Florida in the next few days, so how fitting. You know, I'm from Florida and all that. And then, of course, you know, it's also somewhat ACAB related. You see, the police get pretty heavily involved in this, and I kind of think, despite the fact that what this guy in the video did was illegal, it was pretty ACAB, if you ask me. I think it was an ACAB moment. That's my opinion. So let's go ahead and check this out, and I'll give you guys the commentary I wanted to add when we get there, or as we get there. This video is interesting as hell. Hypers in chat if you have no idea what this is about. I'm actually curious how many of you have no idea, like, about this story. I think meth is involved. This guy looks like a Florida meth man, I will admit. He looks, talks, and acts like a Florida meth man. I cannot deny that. Okay, so fair amount of you don't know.
What's really going on, Walt Disney? What's really going on? What are you protecting on this island? That's so f***ing good. There's something up they don't want people to know about.
Richard McGuire,
I'm
also known as Southern Pirate
still in a dream, Snake Eater.
Southern Pirate Outdoors had just finished swimming for his life, escaping a seemingly inescapable situation. Surrounded by Disney's private security and Florida sheriffs, he hides in the brush off the shores of Bay Lake. He had just escaped Discovery Island. He called his girlfriend to give her the news, but would be shook to his core when he found out that the cops were one step ahead of him.
Fucking ACAB, dude. Because the alligators, some bro.
Disney's Treasure Island, later renamed to Discovery
Gators.
Island, is located in Bay Lake in Orlando, Florida, just a short boat lick from the Magic Kingdom. When it first opened in 1974, Disneygoers were in for a walk on the wild side, as it would provide tourists and locals alike with an exotic getaway.
Basically, they built an island like a mini Jurassic Park for birds and other, like, some of it's Florida native wildlife, a lot of it wasn't. And a lot of the plant life they imported and grew on this island also isn't native. So one of my favorite things about this video is when he starts exploring the island, you see all of the invasive tropical plants that have taken over all in bloom. And it's just like this little forbidden island of like invasive tropical plants that have overtaken it like Jurassic Park 3. It's so fucking cool.
Getaway with lush vegetation and a different kind of wildlife than what people in Florida were used to. The popularity for the attraction and animals in general would dwindle throughout the 90s, and seeing as there was...
I'll admit, I've definitely got a thing for urban exploration. One might argue that someone I know that isn't me has done a fair amount of trespassing back in the old days, but that was you know, those were the old days.
There's little to no profit in wildlife conservation of this magnitude. Mr. Mouse decided it'd be best to just bludgeon all the animals with a tire iron and close it for good in 1999. Now a shell of its former self left to rot, all of the original buildings and habitats remained on the island, withering away due to years of neglect and natural disasters. And yet, it remained heavily guarded, and certain people were desperate to know why. But in all honesty, no one was more desperate to uncover the secrets of Mickey's mysterious mask than a subsect of filmmakers on YouTube whose ears perk up like a nipple under cold breeze whenever they hear the word abandoned, exploring the long deserted and documenting their experiences for people who are afraid of confrontation. Like,
I feel like this was people seeking out that liminal space feeling before the concept of liminal spaces had really blown up online. Like with the back rooms and the pool rooms and all those like super eerie images.
You and me, I'm sorry for saying that. And for those urban explorers, abandoned theme parks are like their holy grail.
Start exploring an amazing amusement park.
Their white whale.
Part of this theme park.
Their Disney-themed guck job.
An abandoned theme park.
The allure of a consumerist wonderland that time forgot is just one that we're all naturally drawn to.
That's so creepy. That abandoned, like, I don't even know what display with, like, that's all murky and dark with the shark inside adds so much extra creep factor, dude. That is full-on thalassophobia fuel. That is fucking thalassophobia fuel. And there's not a bit of water around. Just epoxy resin, probably, clouded up from age, and the outline of a, like, decayed fiberglass shark. Thalassophobia, what? It's thalassophobia. It's fear of the ocean.
It's just one that we're all naturally drawn to. Who can blame a man for wanting to see what's left? Or in this case, what was still worth guarding? Discovery Island had been explored by a few trailblazers, each trek more difficult than the last, as Disney would tighten security with each new breach. That was until Richard McGuire gave it a try, and Disney decided they had had enough.
Going to Disney Discovery Island next week, and always be ready on your worst day.
7:26 p.m. Apocalypse. COVID-19.
In 2020, the news broke of a goofy little green ball with Shrek horns tickling our insides. People began to panic, and as a result, many of the bustling attractions from Disneyland would close their doors for the safety of the patrons. The Mouse House was emptier than a Cyanide Pills Anonymous meeting, but they were about to receive their first guest in months. Richard McGuire, aka Rip Thorne, aka Southern Pirate Outdoors, spends his time exploring abandoned locales and documenting dangerous wildlife. Growing up in Alabama, Richard had always wanted to go see Discovery Island for himself, but his dad always told him no, as spending $10 to go see some stupid birds is pointless when you could just look up and see them for free. So what better time to fulfill his lifelong dream than during a global pandemic? So he decided that not only
this is
going
the
to
Florida
practice
man.
social distancing from the comfort of an abandoned theme park for a week, but he was also going to
Is this GoldenEye music? Probably.
the wildlife that Disney was supposedly hiding. More on that later. For months, Richard studied the area and mapped out his journey. And in the evening hours on April 27th, 2020, Richard began his recon, making a trip around the Disney World parking lot and showing just how empty it truly was, describing the scene as a virtual ghost town. Richard's driving around, he's got his kayak on his roof.
Now there's always a Nazi march out front, so you know, at least it doesn't look empty these days. There's always some swastika flags out front
He
now.
parks his car to go get a better look at the docks. Once he's done, he comes back and somebody steals his kayak. And even though this was his means of actually crossing the lake, he wasn't gonna let that stop him. On his way back home, he stops at 7-Eleven and he notices a guy with a canoe on his roof. It wasn't for sale, but that guy did have a shoddy aluminum boat that could be negotiated.
I'm constructing a new trap right now. It's a deep water trap. I have reason to believe this animal that I'm after is not in fresh water anymore. It's always good to be a sportsman.
When you find out what animal he's after, oh boy, are you guys gonna lose your fucking mind. This guy is a character.
Never good to be an outlaw. Do your things right because Mother Nature is fragile. And if we all out there breaking the law...
So I can make money for my videos, Chris473.
And it's, as we see with the coronavirus, you know, mankind has absolutely ruined this world. Be a sportsman and not an outlaw.
2 days later, he returns to the area, parking his van in a secluded area in the suburbs a few blocks from the park. Richard would then wait until nightfall to begin his journey towards the shore. In his inventory, a flashlight, a water bottle, scuba gear in case things go south,
I love
some
this.
tape, a
This
car
is a good
battery,
edit.
his cell phone, and that small aluminum boat. So with the sun fully set and the plan fully in motion, he's ready to go. Richard dragged his boat about a mile out of the suburban neighborhood, through the wooded area and across a long pipeline, taking breaks in between as the weather began to work against him.
Another mile and a half. Easy work.
And that's when he notices the forested area he had been traveling through has eyes in the trees.
Trail cams. These are auto trail cams too, monitoring activity down these.
This is where shit gets intense.
Right here, and I gotta track the boat by here. That's the first one I.
Literally, like, the miles of woods adjacent to Disney are filled with trail cams. They don't want anybody sneaking in, even if they're coming from the swamps.
But there might have been more. Send some pictures direct. See the wire? Not good. I'm gonna put something over the front of this one.
So he covers the camera and makes note to avoid these in the future, and carries on as he makes his way forward. 3 hours pass.
He was likely caught by
and
many.
winded from dragging the boat, he comes to a barbed wire fence and has no choice but to lift his boat over it. And with that final push, he made it to the dock.
Something fired out.
He's going across the lake now.
This raggedy boat I just bought. No wonder I got it at such a good price. It damn near sunk.
So under the cover of night and bad weather, Rich ends up making it to Discovery Island, but not without trouble. Turns out the boat that he bought was damaged, and it started taking in a lot of water as he was crossing the lake. His boat almost sinks and his battery is underwater, so he ended up just taping up the holes
It's
and
destroyed.
carrying on.
The only way he'd be able to get back is paddling that little boat with his hands.
Dead as you're ever
or a
gonna
paddle.
see. There's not
or
a
a
soul
stick.
in here other than cops and
Palm
security
frond.
guards. Anyway, let me get the hell out of this boat before it sinks completely.
So with the worst behind him, he comes to a small abandoned building on the island and takes shelter for the night. Starting a small fire to dry off his boots, he waits until sunrise.
Here I am, folks. Discovery Island. In a lake they call Bay Lake. It's a natural made lake by Mother Earth. It's full of alligators. There's
Can you guys, do you already know what he did dumb here? Also revealing his location? Well, it's not a live stream, and the video's about him going to this island. Like, that's what the video's about. But do you know what he did that's dumb here? Because he did dox himself. But do you know what he did? It should be obvious to you. That's right, Sodabit. He brought his phone, and he's connected to a cell tower. That's how he's using this satellite app. That means that his location and his phone and all the information on it and his identification associated with it is being pinged off nearby cell phone towers, which can be used to triangulate his exact coordinates. Exactly where his phone was.
There's been several deaths in this body of water. Walt Disney likes to brush stuff under the rug. They don't like to tell people. And this poor little kid got snatched out of this body of water right here. They try to tell their guests there's no alligators here. I've been diving these waters since 2004, and I've seen more gators in this area than just about anywhere else I've ever seen them.
So what he's referring to here is the tragic story of 2-year-old Lane Graves, who was building sandcastles on the Seven Seas Lagoon.
Like, to be fair, he is right. What he's talking about here is Disney lying about the infestation of alligators in that lake that they allow guests to basically, like, get into.
and
You'll
got
see in a
snatched
minute.
up by an alligator. This would lead to Disney ramping up removal of the alligators on the park premises despite being previously aware of the problem. And yeah, there were a
It is Florida, and you should just know that any like body of water that's fresh will always have gators in it just by default. But like, yeah, I mean, Disney allowing people on their property to do that is very irresponsible. I was there. They have all the beaches roped off now. That's good.
A lot of them.
Yeah, that's pretty sad that a place like Walt Disney lies to their guests about wildlife.
You see, Richard had seen his
Gators
fair share
are
of wild
far more
animals,
dangerous than
most notably
sharks.
the alligator snapping turtle, which he believed to be a modern-day dinosaur. But he believed he could catch one on Discovery Island to prove that there's more to worry about than just gators. Of course, that was just scratching the surface of this hunt, and let me tell you, it's a lot fucking crazier than big turtles. I initially read about Richard's Adventure 2 battle on this Twitter thread, and here
All
it
right, here it
states that
is.
Richard was hunting for some sort of genetically modified abomination that was hidden at the center of the island, and it was funded by the US government. It was a whole thing. But I couldn't find anything of Richard actually talking about this directly, outside of a few
Florida's own
implications.
Jurassic
That is until
Park.
I wandered into the comments of his final entry in the series. According to Rich, there is, quote, something on that island. Now, supposedly, after all of this is said and done, Richard was briefed by the Secret Service. I can't give credence to this claim, because I don't fucking know, but
Probably
a reply
not.
to this gives some context.
Supposedly, genetic research testing was done underground during off hours on the island, funded by the US government. What better way to hide something than in plain sight? And a creature they'd been working on using birds had escaped and wreaked havoc. It cannot escape the island, but remains in a lair where it comes out at night. Supposedly, this thing can't leave the island due to its mechanical devices / weight. Could be BS, but thought it was interesting. The creature that got out was part eagle, some say cockatoo, and part robot / mechanical. They say it can kill someone in one swipe.
What in the
It's most likely to be total BS, like I said, and this rumor goes back a long time.
Dude, only in Florida, dude. Only in Florida. I was really hoping that this was going to be the backstory to, like, some Florida sky cryptid. He's hunting a cryptid? Yeah, he's literally hunting a cryptid.
It may not be alive now. The person who wrote about this to be
That's why he's
cautious
on the
and
island.
not to go there, and that you have been warned.
Have you found any more info? I can't find a rumor, a conspiracy, or anything.
Supposedly, as you get close to the island,
Apparently this is like this guy's personal conspiracy theory. The guy who's going to the island. Like maybe a few other people believe it, but it's like his big thing that he really believes and wants to prove.
and it starts to get dark, birds will start to screech to warn you not to get too close to the center of the island where this thing lives. It's part mechanical robot, part bird. Also explains why the police
So
terminated
fucking
their search
ridiculous.
for Mr. Pirate flag emoji, as it was getting dark. The local police must know something.
Source. I'm gonna need the source of that information that you sent, because I might pay a visit to that thing with a freaking gun.
That's a long way to say big robot bird dinosaur. I mean, could Disney really be housing a frankenfowl on their property? Well, let me ask you this. Did you know that the last dusky seaside sparrow died on Discovery Island? Extinct. Gone. I don't know. I'm just saying, I'd like to see a minimum
Holy
wage
shit.
employee play Sneed Seed and Feed with a fucker that big. Anyway, now we have an idea of what Richard was possibly there for.
Let's get it on.
The sun has now risen over Discovery Island, and Richard prepares for his week-long excursion.
Virtually untouched by humans for over 21 years. And you can tell
It's literally-
there's no graffiti. This is the kind of
It's like
place
Jurassic
I like
Park
to
3, dude. Like this is some of the coolest abandoned like scenery I've ever seen.
8-inch screen, man, that's crazy. Still has water in it. Look at those flowers.
This is what I was talking about, the blooming invasive tropical flowers that were imported in. Those aren't native to Florida, I'm pretty sure.
Very solid. That is so cool. I wonder what animals are still here from when this place was open.
Just imagine you hear the velociraptor
Maybe
call
they
from
just
Jurassic
turn
Park
loose.
in the distance.
It's unreal.
Gotta fucking hide.
Unreal. It's unreal. Just left everything just like it was.
21
The
years
stuff that I've been doing my whole life.
of
if y'all are
decay.
into this, you know, like and subscribe so I can go and do more. and bring y'all to places that y'all might not ever get to see. That's a massive tree right there.
That is a big fucking tree.
Big cypress tree.
That's a
And I
big
don't
tree for
touch
Florida,
anything, I
not
don't
for
break
like
anything, I
Washington
don't leave
State.
any
There's so many
trash. I
big
pick
trees
up
here.
all my trash as I leave.
All is going well so far. After inspecting the cages, he steps out into the open walkway, turns to his left, and
Footpaths are in here. I mean,
there it is.
oh great, I'm on game camera. Not good. I'm busted.
This
That's
is
when
where
I filmed the
the
first
stealth
two
mission
I was in contact
starts.
with, and I got out of here.
Dun,
Nothing
dun.
caught me first.
after
Dun,
being
dun,
extremely
dun, dun,
careful
dun.
and mapping out all of the locations
Dun.
of the trail cameras, he got careless.
Dun 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 dun.
Just in case.
Dun dun
And,
dun
the
dun
hunt was
dun.
on. So naturally, Richard immediately turned tail, headed back to the abandoned building he was camped in, grabbed all of his belongings, and began planning his
Escape from Discovery
Orange County
Island.
Sheriff's Office, you're being recorded. This is Operator Moore. How may I help you?
Hi, this is Lucy at Walt Disney World Security.
Hi.
I've got an investigator requesting county assist in response to Discovery Island.
Do you have an address or?
4600 Fork Wilderness Trail.
What's the name of it?
Discovery Island.
To say that Disney's reaction time was impressive would be an understatement. From the moment that trail cam flashed on my man Rich, they were on him like stink on shit.
Someone was seen in an out-of-bounds area.
Sighting of a person in a restricted area.
They were on
Seen
him.
on camera. He didn't give me a description.
Are you all en route or are you there?
They're en route. They have to get a boat to get to the island.
Okay, well, we'll send deputies out there.
Thank you.
Thank you, bye.
A search party was formed to find the trespasser. Two sheriffs took a boat to the island, guns drawn, and they began to push forward, until they realized just how big the island really was, and decided to call for backup. Meanwhile, Richard treads carefully through the crunchy woods, then he begins to hear voices. Not like a schizophrenic episode, but literal voices, coming from a chopper circling overhead.
They're lying. He's under
At
arrest.
this point, Rich figured if he hid really well, the cops would get tired and call it the search and go home. So he decided to bury himself under a bunch of leaves as the sound of boats and choppers got louder and louder.
Yeah, this is a LARPing cop's wet dream.
Disney World's got all that money. They can do whatever they want. Just going around and around in circles, circling the island. These motherfuckers aren't playing.
Crossing, okay?
He thinks it's like Disney's money, but it's literally just the police. I mean, it's taxpayer money.
Door will open your side, outside your door. You ready? Shirts, come on, your hands up, do it now.
Man, this is really, really fucking weird right now. I'm stranded on Discovery Island.
What is this? What they hatch baby dinosaurs in?
Behind me. There's something to step on.
I like how the cops, with the excuse to be there, are literally exploring it. Like, they're looking for him, but they're also exploring it themselves. They're literally doing the thing they're there to arrest the guy for doing. They're doing the exact thing the guy that they're there to arrest is doing.
Okay. Police officers and island guards were circling the island. Not only that, but they located his boat and his provisions and confiscated them to entice Richard to come out of hiding. Thirsty and running out of options, he begins to drink the rainwater pooling on the leaves. Then he realizes he needs to come up with an escape plan. This man then goes naked snake mode and progresses through the woods, stopping every so often to listen for his pursuers. This whole game of cat and mouse lasted for roughly 4 hours. Then the survival instincts kick in. He heads to the beach, he looks for some water bottles because the plan is to make a flotation device.
He's got to go through the alligator-infested lake, swimming.
I'm so thirsty. Oh, it's the best water I've ever drank in my life. I'm not gonna drink that Mountain Dew there. It's a little rough.
With enough bottles to float to shore, he stuffs his backpack with them, ensuring that they'll float. And then, it's time.
Alligator-infested water,
his whole
dude.
life, so he's no stranger to muddy waters. But remember, Bay Lake is filled with thousands of gators, so if he wanted to make it back in one piece, he had to be quick.
It's less about being quick and more about being graceful and not being on the surface. Alligators can only see what's above them.
Didn't go as planned. Tired as hell, he had to keep pushing. 1 hour later, he reaches land.
Hell yeah. Oh my God. Nobody's ever gonna believe what happened to me today. Thank God.
Upon making it to shore, Rich takes a moment, he catches his breath, and he decides to call his girlfriend to
Here
let
it
her know
comes,
that
chat.
he's there.
I just made the swim.
Here comes the ACAB moment. How do you feel about this guy? Hypers in chat if you're rooting for him. Hyper's in chat if you're rooting for him. Like, as crazy as he is, at this point, he's hurt nobody. He's not hurting anybody. I'm rooting for him. I am. Fuck Disney. Like, I know, like, Disney's getting attacked by a lot of far-right bigots right now. But also, fuck Disney. Obviously. Fuck the concept of, like, getting arrested for trespassing when you unironically, equivocally weren't there to do any harm. What are you, liberals? Law? You base your morals on law? Yeah, no. I'm rooting for this guy at this point. But here comes the bad ending.
Well, hey, I love you. What do you mean they...
And that's when he receives the unfortunate news that shakes him harder than the cold, murky waters of Bay Lake.
They're going to take you to jail.
He brought
if I don't
his
come out and
phone.
turn myself in.
Just when he was celebrating his great escape, thinking he made it off the island.
I am almost certain the way they found who he was they searched for cell phone pings off the towers on the island, and they found his phone, were able to correlate the information because he probably had Google logged in with his email and his phone number, and like everything was attached, obviously, to his phone. He had it on with the internet connected on the island, right in its center in these buildings where he was camping. So I'm pretty sure his phone is what fucked him there. That's why you don't take your phone to protests, by the way. Do not take your phone to protests. Don't do it.
News that shakes him harder than the cold, murky water.
Take a camera, but not a phone.
Of Bay Lake.
They're going to take you to jail if I don't come out and turn myself in.
Just when he was celebrating his great escape, thinking he made it off the island scot-free, it turns out, not only did law enforcement have his boat and his supplies, but they also had his girlfriend and their van in their possession. The deal? Turn himself in and they'll let her go. Can they do that? Is that allowed?
I'm pretty sure they can, because they could just arrest her under suspicion of conspiracy, but also they could just lie. Like, the cops can just lie. Like, the cops are allowed to just lie to you to say anything that'll, like, lower your guard enough for you to incriminate yourself. So, like, even if they can't actually do that, they can say that that's what they're going to do to convince him to turn himself in. Even if they're not actually allowed to do it. Yeah. The cops are allowed to lie to you.
I'm a part of it.
I hear you.
I love them, but not that much.
All right, Richard, unfortunately, you're going to be placed under arrest for trespassing, okay?
So that's exactly what he did. After getting his boat back from the sheriffs, he went to meet with the local police officers on the shore. His journey had finally come to its bittersweet conclusion. In the end, after all his preparations and the long journey just to get to the island, his week-long vacation was cut short. Richard was arrested for trespassing, but later entered a plea deal where he only had to pay a $100 fine. And the sheriff...
That's right. At the end of the day, he did just have to pay a $100 fine. Because, and reminder, trespassing laws are only a fee for admission to rich people. If you're rich enough, fines do not matter. And laws that are just punishable by fines do not matter to you. So if he was a bit richer, it would have been not a big deal. I'm sure he was able to pay it off, but like, yeah. At least it was just a $100 fine.
He received a lifetime ban from Disney World. I don't think he was planning on going back.
Yeah, I have a feeling he had no plans to go to Disney World. Also, I don't think he cares about the ban. I think he'll go back if he wants to, based on the fact that, you know, he's done it before. I bet next he'll bring a scuba gear. That would be the smart thing, scuba gear, and just scuba dive along the bottom to the island, and then stash your scuba gear in the building, and don't bring a phone. Then you can get all the footage you need, and you won't get caught. Yeah, obviously the trail cams are a problem, so you gotta, like crawl like Snake through the brush, constantly looking for trail cams. When you see one, you have to maneuver around it to, like, disable it. What channel is the video from? I'll once again say the channel is Doplex. I will link the video in chat as well. But there will, of course, be a link to the video when this comes out on YouTube. Yeah, get a watertight bag, a hermetically sealed bag, and put a ghillie suit in it. Go full DayZ. Just go full DayZ mode. Who cares? Yeah, I feel bad for the guy. I genuinely was rooting for him there. I really was. That's a genuine ACAB moment, I feel. That's an ACAB moment, in my opinion. He let him cook. What do you guys think of that segment? I feel like that was pretty good. A link for you that's from
Public
Shark.
safety is the highest priority. We need to fix the criminal justice system so criminals can't keep committing.
Okay, we're not reacting to people's videos that I agree with. Okay, that's not what we do here. Thank you for the link, though. I am aware of Shark. I've seen Shark's videos. Thank you. Okay. I think now is a good time to wrap up stream as I'm getting a little bit drowsy and I've been yawning a lot. But we've got some pretty good segments planned for tomorrow, so I hope to see you all here on the morrow for tomorrow's stream. It's gonna be some pretty good stuff. Yes, I know I did plan to talk about Tim Pool today, but I'm feeling drowsy, and I know the Tim Pool thing is a long segment, and I want to give it my all. I don't want to cheat you guys out of me being at my fullest when I do the Tim Pool segment. I'm just kind of it's getting late. It's already 9 p.m. almost, and that's I usually get to bed at 10 p.m. The morrow is a bird. All right. I have to go, guys. I love you all very much. You've all been amazing. You are all beautiful little gay people that live in my computer, and I hope you're all here tomorrow when I come back to you all, because you guys don't have lives. You're all just here waiting for me when I go live again, right? Anyway, very good memes. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Host Vaush. Maybe I will. Thank you all so much for the raid. Thank you so much for watching. I'll probably raid Vosh. Thank you so much. I love you all. I hope to see you all here tomorrow. And as always, you're all beautiful and lovely. And I hope you all have a good one. Bye. Bye.